it's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hat or Rat. So about 2 months ago now, I received a copyright strike from Viacom. And if you aren't familiar with copyright strikes, it's the 3 strikes and you're out rule. Your channel's gone, poof, deleted forever. I simply couldn't risk that. So in order to protect myself from future indiscriminate copyright strikes from the evil media entity that is Viacom, I decided to delete every single video from my channel containing clips of the show, even though they were reviews protected under fair use. In total, I deleted over 2 million views from my channel, almost 70 videos, and thousands of hours of work. This video is an audio compilation of those deleted videos from every hot or rot review that I made for RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 5. Please help support this channel and click the link in my description to see the full visual versions of these videos and get exclusive member benefits by joining my Patreon today. I'm slowly but surely building back my catalog of videos, and I can use your continued support along the way. You can help simply by liking this video, leaving a comment telling me what your favorite look is from the entire season, and of course, choosing to support this channel on Patreon. The link to do so is in the description of this video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Unfortunately for our girls, this whole worldwide pandemic situation has not allowed them to shoot a promo, evidently, so they have released their workroom entrances in place of a promo photo shoot. So first in is Shea Coulee, and she, oh my God, she is looking gorgeous, snatched, beautiful. I mean, let's be honest, she always has been a total vision. One of, I think, the most underrated look queens from season 9. When I think of Shea, I always think of that like deconstructed construction worker look that she walked the runway with. I think it was maybe in one of the ball challenges from her season. Perfection. She walks in a full body, asymmetrical, over one shoulder with a glove on the other side, blue and white floral. She looks like a walking piece of very expensive fine china. In her confessional, she's talking about losing to Sasha and how when those roses came out of Sasha's headpiece, she saw her dreams just like slip away right before her very eyes. But I kind of have a really weird question for you all, and I guess for the queens if they're watching. Do the queens want to win Drag Race these days? Because it kind of seems like they're not really going to be inviting any winners back except for the season 1 girls. I mean, really, like the real talk. If you're on a season of Drag Race and you place near the top but you don't win, you're pretty much guaranteed a season of All-Stars if you want it, which means more airtime, which means more being on TV, which means a bigger fan base. So like, what is the incentive to win besides the $100,000? I don't know, just saying it seems like there might be even more opportunity for coming back to TV if you lose rather than if you win. But back to her look, I think it's flawless, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, and absolutely hot. She even had a matching bag because it is a known fact that a women do carry a handbag. And I know this may be a little bit early to say, but I think that we're gonna kind of be seeing Shea Coulee's Drag Race. Kind of like how they had Alaska's Drag Race for season 2. Kind of feel like we're gonna be getting a similar situation in All-Stars 5. And next into the workroom is one of my favorite queens, and I think many people's favorites, Miz Cracker. She walks in and she says, "Correction!" And she's wearing this really gorgeous white and gold feathered cocktail dress. It's like just ballooning with feathers at the top and at the bottom hem of the dress. She looks like a rich housewife in Beverly Hills that maybe just is ready to have a drink or two and ready to be the life of the party, which I think is just kind of the vibe of her drag character in general. I think she nailed it. She looks gorgeous. She looks hot. Cracker is very funny. She's an iconic comedy queen. I'm excited to see her do something kind of like what Trixie has done, where she has transformed her drag career into a like worldwide touring comedy show. I think that Cracker has that potential, and I think she just kind of has to figure out like how to harness it, and this season of All-Stars I think is going to give her the launching pad that she needs to do something absolutely iconic. I remember it was so devastating when she was sent home in season 10. So many people, including myself, were just rooting for her because she's so relatable, and she's kind of like the Jan of season 10. So I'm really hoping that Cracker brought the salt for All-Stars 5, and I'm kind of expecting her to be in like top 4, top 5 area. I see it for her. And next up is our catchphrase queen, bam, Alexis Mateo. Sickening, no? She looks like she just walked off the promo shoot for season 12, or maybe that red, white, and blue Stars and Stripes Forever runway that they just did. I cannot believe that this is her entrance look. This is so freaking funny. Yes, of course, she is dressed like the Puerto Rican flag, not the American flag. I do see that, but it is just so comical and like ironic that she chose this as her entrance look when they literally just have done 2 major looks kind of based around a very similar theme. I love that she is walking into the workroom though, supporting her heritage, giving us the Puertorriqueña queen that we need. I'm so excited for her. She's so lovable, she's so funny, she's loud in the best way, and just a pleasure to watch. And so this is actually Alexis's 3rd season of Drag Race. She started on season 3, placed 3rd, went to All Stars 1 and was in the top 6, and now she is back for All Stars 5. Will she get the crown this time? I don't think so, but I'm excited to watch her on TV anyways. As far as what she's wearing, she's basically wearing a bedazzled bodysuit, and it is of course the Puerto Rican flag, and then she has on this huge ruffled cape, which I think completes the outfit and brings it to a hot. If she had walked in just the bodysuit alone, I would have said, maybe not, maybe go like add something, but she brought it all into the runway. She's got the big hair that she's known for, that huge giant pompadour just sitting on her head, and the big cape is like big and it's drag and it's funny and great, and of course she looks beautiful. Can you tell that she's 40? I couldn't. Damn. She's not necessarily known for being like a fashion queen, but I would see her more as like a costume queen. She kind of has like these Vegas vibes, these sort of like showgirl-esque qualities in all of her looks, that she does keep them fresh and fun. And next into the workroom, fresh from puberty, is Miss Blair St. Clair. She says that she is all grown up now, bitches. This look immediately, because I'm watching season 12, I was like, oh my god, wait, Gigi good? She's already on All Stars 5, what happened? It's a very Gigi look. It is a tailored coat, and I do think that queens have to be really careful when they typecast themselves into certain styles or looks, and so I'm really going to be looking at Blair as she goes through the season and seeing if she really is bringing us high drag, because at the end of the day, this is RuPaul's Drag Race, not most feminine drag queen. Do I think she looks beautiful? Absolutely. Is she giving me drag? Is she giving me, you know, about to bust out a number or something, or like she's about to win a pageant? No, I'm not really getting that from this look, but I do think she looks gorgeous, and you can see that her makeup is very pretty. She looks hot. I'm just a little nervous for Blair though, because she is so soft-spoken, and she is a little bit more shy into herself, that she's going to struggle to really stand out in this season. We've got a lot of loud girls, so let's see what happens, Miss Blair St. Clair, I do declare. And next up, the face. Mariah, Paris, Balenciaga. Maybe one of the best drag names in drag history. I love the like totally over the top elegance and drama of a name that has like 10 syllables. And as you could probably guess, I love a drag name that really gets your attention and kind of gets stuck in your head. You know, something that you're never going to forget. Like Bussy. I kind of remember Mariah being this very beautiful, almost like background-esque character from season 3 where she placed 9th. I am so excited to see her back in the competition, but I'm a little nervous for her again among so many like super popular megastars that have just absolutely vaulted their career to heights that some of the season 2 and 3 girls have not even ever seen, just because the show wasn't at where it is now way back then. I don't think that that's going to be a hindrance on her ability to perform in the competition, but I think it's something to really consider as we watch this season, because the producers are going to be framing this season around how they anticipate the audience to react. So unless some of these early girls really kill it in these seasons, then the producers can kind of cut some of them loose early and then let the newer queens really shine up front, because they know that that's going to like really do good for their numbers, and the people watching in the audience are going to be wanting those newer queens to win because they're fresher on their minds. As far as what Mariah is wearing, I wish she wasn't wearing it. This is very much evoking the Kelly Mantle Bacon outfit for me. Something about that chest piece makes me want to vom. I do not like it at all. And it's so disappointing because she's so gorgeous. So this weird like white, purple, and yellow chest piece, it just is, it looks gross, honestly. It looks like somebody cracked an eggshell and the yolk is leaking out, and then you can see like a dead chicken on the inside through the cutouts or something. I know that that is really graphic and terrible, and I'm so sorry, but this look is a rot. The purple velour, the black flannel stripe on the tights, going into those big thigh-high black boots, I honestly just really don't like anything about what is actually on her body. She's just doing this like super old school look that it makes me so happy that we are in the future now. And next up is India Ferrah, another season 3 girl. She walks in with her back facing the workroom and the jewels floating over the back of the cutout of her dress say old school. This very much reminds me of the approach that Morgan McMichaels took coming into the show. She was very like, I am an old school girl, but I'm going to bring you lots of beauty and talent. I just hope that India can really make a name for these old school girls and show this audience, this young audience, that this high full body drag that she and Mariah and Alexis bring to the competition is so important to not be forgotten, and it is so valid, and it's really where a lot of drag started. India looks beautiful. Wow. Some of these girls cannot even hold a match to this mug on India. That beautifully stunning cut crease. Oh my God, the brows are perfect. The highlighting, I love what she has done with those huge top lashes and the big bottom lashes. And I love the way that she has elevated her makeup in this way. So this mint green bodysuit, jumpsuit, dress with a cape and giant shoulders thing, I don't even know what to call it. We're just gonna say costume, but it is a beautiful costume. I'm not saying that to degrade it. I think it looks gorgeous. I love all the beading and jewels on the belt, matching the beading and jewels on the back, matching her giant ring. She looks like she's about to step on a stage and accept a crown. She has on some nail gloves, which are a trend I think in general is dying, but they do work for this look and look really pretty. The lacy tights, the cape, the giant shoulders. She looks almost like a walking Fabergé drag egg, and I 100% love it, and I think she looks so hot. So next in the workroom, an old school fan favorite is Miss Jujubee. It makes me really sad to see girls like Jujubee not have the platform that some of these modern queens have when Juju was just as, if not more popular than some of these girls back in the day. I mean, this is an OG fan favorite. I love Jujubee, and it was unfortunate, right, that she was cast in All Stars 1, but thankfully it seems like they're going to be touring the All Stars 1 girls 2 at a time into these All Star seasons until they get through all of them, which I think is really, really nice that they're doing that. So as far as what she's wearing, well, we all know that Juju is not really known for being a look queen. I just have to say that. I do think that she looks really pretty. This is sort of like an elevated version of, I think, the cocktail dress that she wore in her All Stars 1 entrance. It's just not super jaw-dropping or stunning. It's very biological woman, female realness, night out at the club, right? It's just a tad pedestrian for RuPaul's Drag Race. So on this black cocktail dress with some shoulder pads, which I think are a cute detail, are these like metal hardware pieces going down the entire front, collar, and then sleeves of the dress. And because of the placement, the overall effect of the outfit looks almost like she is asphalt with the white lines going down the middle, which is like terrible foreshadowing for somebody coming back to Drag Race really wanting to win, to say that you are literally the road that the other cars contestants are going to drive over. Oh, Juju, I do love you. She is such a big, exciting, lovable, fun personality, and I don't think that this look is representative of who she is as a person. This is not my favorite look. It's not something that I enjoy looking at, and for me personally, I am going to give this a rat. However, with that said, I hope we can look forward to some more big fried chicken moments with Miss Juju on this season. And next into the workroom is a Britney Spears impersonator, Miss Derrick Barry. She is the only queen walking into the workroom to do a reveal, so credit where credit is due there. However, let's not get too eager with the credit. I'm a little confused about her entrance line. First she says, woo, and then she says, ooh, I did it again, instead of oops, I did it again. I'm not sure if she was like intentionally trying to put a spin on the Britney Spears song title, or if she wasn't allowed to say it because of copyright reasons, or if she just messed up her entrance line, but this was a weird entrance. So she walks in and in like a full tuxedo and a hat. The fedora, the iconic fedora, takes it off, rips off the suit, and sort of that front reveal. It must be done with like some Velcro or some like snap buttons in the side, kind of like how Gia Gunn did on her runway with that schoolgirl outfit, to reveal a lackluster Britney Spears illusion. I want to say neck up. I think she looks really pretty. She has evidently learned how to block her brows. I would love to have seen the hair be a little bit different, and I really would have loved to have seen what she is doing in her entrance ring true with what she's saying in her confessional. Because in the confessional, she's saying, oh, I was so focused on being the best Britney Spears impersonator, and that just like totally kept me off track, la-di-da-di-da. This time, I'm here to prove I'm a good drag queen. But then she walks in and does Britney. The actions are not matching the words, and that for me is foreshadowing of trouble. I am a little bit worried for her that she is just saying and thinking that she's changed when she really hasn't. But again, I just really want something fresh from Derrick, and this unfortunately didn't give it to me. This look is going to be a rot for me. And another season 10 girl is into the workroom. Next, Miss Mayhem Miller. Turned meme queen. She went viral for this Showgirls performance that she did where she was like doing this with her eyes to like every beat of the song every time it would change and do this dramatic noise. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was the funniest tucking thing I had seen in quite a while. Mayhem, of course, is known for winning that very first challenge with those gloves. That honestly could be one of my favorite looks in the entire Drag Race franchise. It was so avant-garde, beautiful, showed a sense of fashion and vision. Ugh, like chef's kiss to that one. But then she just kind of skated downhill after that. She really just, I don't know, I think maybe just got really lucky in that first episode and then showed that she maybe wasn't quite ready to do as well as she so badly wanted to do in season 10. But here she is for All Stars 5, and I am really hoping for big things from her this season. As far as what she's wearing, she has on a red bedazzled bodysuit, some big pageant hair, and some red thigh-high boots. It's, I guess, sort of like a more modern, updated version of the full-length pageant gown that she originally wore in her workroom entrance, but I'm not really seeing like why she wore this. Like, it isn't really telling me a story, and I honestly feel like a lot of these entrance looks haven't, when classically the entrance look is there to basically set yourself up and tell the world who you are, because the promo looks can't do that because they are themed. The entrance is where you say, this is who I am, this is my drag. And this look is just kind of there for me. I think it's very pretty. I think she looks great. It would move well on a stage. I just wanted a little more like insanity from her entrance look. It's definitely not a rot, so let's just go ahead and give this like a nice warm. And next up, the shining moment of this little entrance look reveal for All Stars 5 Ongina. I am gagging on the eleganza, and I am not exaggerating, not one bit. Woo! This is an entrance look. This says, I am here to win. This says, this is what my drag is now. This says, I've changed, I'm different, I'm better. This says, I am gonna bring you the drama. This says, I deserve to be back in this competition. Wow. This is a look. This is an entrance look. This is how you enter the workroom. Take notes, ladies. This look, you can tell, is either very, very expensive or she personally put in days, if not weeks, of work into this look. It is gorgeous, it's opulent, it's detailed, it's elegant, meticulously made. It's evoking this like Shiva fantasy for me. All the different pieces coming off of the shoulder and the headpiece and the elbow kind of make me think of like the arms of Shiva. She looks like a walking goddess. The colors, blue, white, and gold, completely regal, right? She's saying, I wanna win. She is from season 1, and again, another OG fan favorite. I personally think she has been so long overdue for an All-Star season. I don't know why we haven't seen her sooner. Maybe it was for her own personal reasons, and that is totally okay. But her time has come, and mama, she is here. This look is no doubtedly hot. And if I could change only one thing on this look, I actually would probably just get rid of the cape, because I think she is a walking piece of art without it. And for every episode of Hot or Rot where I review RuPaul's Drag Race runways and looks, I ask my patrons to vote for their hottest hot. This week they have, of course, chosen Ongina. That is my hottest hot as well. I'm so proud and happy to say that Ongina won. Yes! Again, thank you so much to my generous patrons for making Bussy Queen possible, and a special shout out to Curtis, Derrick, Jenny, Kenzie, Matthew, Maxwell, Rick, Shannon, Sean, Timotheus, Veronica, Drew, and Sunshine. If you would like to join my Patreon, you can do so for as little as $1, and the link to do so is in the description of this video. Thanks so much for watching. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rot. And today we'll be reviewing episode 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 5. Firstly, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been so patient with me waiting to upload this video. So in the tradition of the first episode of All Stars, we did get a talent show. Let's just say there were some hots and there were some rots. So first up is Alexis Mateo. Bam! She comes out in an orange headdress and an orange cape, taking up about half of the stage at least. It's a huge outfit, and then she actually has the cape removed by the dancers and reveals a smaller leotard with some feathers around the waist. I wasn't really living for the small little like flower details on the collar of the cape or even the bedazzling around the collar area of the leotard. I think the look is fun, it has a great stage presence, and I live for an outfit that can touch the ceiling and the audience members on both sides of you as you're dancing. I'm gonna go ahead and give this look in her performance, she is of course yelling out all of her catchphrases, sickening no, bam, you know, of course trying to get the judges to remember why she's there in the first place, because she is a soundbite queen. Everything she says is absolute comedy gold. I'm hoping that we get some more fresh new catchphrases from our catchphrase queen this season. She got me really excited and warmed up for the talent show, and maybe set my expectations a little bit too high for the rest of the girls, but we'll get into that. Next up is Shea Coulee, and I was a little bit surprised by this performance. It just wasn't something that I was expecting. She was giving like a slow burn pole dance, very FKA Twigs and her cellophane video vibes there. In her credit, she actually was showing off a talent pole dancing, whereas most of the other queens were just lip syncing or singing an original song. So she gets points for originality here. The outfit is cute. It's like a red latex bodysuit with some peplum around the waist, and of course she has on the matching 10-inch red leather pleasers. The only thing off about her look is that she has knee pads on. I can't help but think that Drag Race probably made her wear them as a safety precaution so they didn't get sued. Her outfit is hot. I think it's an appropriate pole dancing look, and it fits her well. Her actual skills on the pole, I must say, looked a little bit fresh. I'm not saying I could do what she was doing up there. I'm just saying she looked maybe a little nervous up there on the stage, which is totally understandable, of course. Overall, I thought her performance was pretty good. I also have to go out of my way to compliment her makeup. It's a very different look from what we typically see her in. I love that thin, highly arched brow on her, and her hair looks gorgeous. It's growing out of her scalp. Yeah, it's hot. Next up is Mayhem Miller. She starts her performance referencing, of course, the meme that went viral last year or the year before, where she's like doing the crazy eye movements, you know, to the beat of the song, that thing. And I was like, okay, cool, referencing your own meme, love that. And then it just kind of fell flat. It just really didn't go anywhere. On top of that, the outfit that she's wearing is not great. She's wearing like an icy mint green jumpsuit with huge, giant, billowing sleeves. I mean, they almost touch the floor when she stands up in her outfit. I don't know, I just expected something a little bit more for her. I also don't think that the outfit matches the hair that she's wearing. It just felt a little disjointed there, especially with those white contacts in. You know, I think those have like a time and a place, but I just didn't quite understand why she was going like spooky from the neck up and then kind of more like pageanty from the neck down. And then the performance itself overall was super bizarre. It was just weird. I was like, what the hell is she saying? I mean, I actually went back and rewatched it a couple different times to try to make out all the words.
I'm the queen of the party in this Miller time. Been lining these eyes since 8:45. Now to be in the question we all doing this is
I don't know what was going on there. Please, queens, stop doing live vocals for the talent show. It's just like never a good choice. I think maybe like Alaska might have done it successfully, but I just don't think that it ever is the safe choice to do. I'm gonna have to give this outfit and performance a rot. It was just confusing, and I don't know what she was even trying to do with that. Next up is Mariah, Paris, Balenciaga, and she did an eerily topical performance, which is really just a reminder that racism and oppression of minorities in general is a problem that we have been facing as a people for far too long. It's time to end it. Mariah's performance was powerful. She came out in a solid white dress, prepared to soak it in red blood, get it all over her, and make a point about the stains on the wall, which is, I guess, the title of the track that she was doing. It was kind of like a spoken word thing, similar to what Tatiana did, except she took a very serious route with that. I think it was really smart for her to do something like this because typically in these talent shows, a lot of the queens do go for comedy. Of course, some, you know, better than others, but doing something more serious can stand out, especially if you do it well. She looks pretty. Her outfit is really tied so closely to her performance that I don't think that I should like separately hot or rot it. I think she looks gorgeous, and the performance was impactful and also relevant to our current times. It's an absolute hot. The only thing I would have done is maybe gotten a little bit crazier with the red paint, but I could also totally see the producers being a little bit hesitant to give Mariah the green light to just go crazy with the red paint. There's these shots of Rue looking super surprised during Mariah's performance when she's throwing paint around, and I just can't help but wonder, was Ru shocked and concerned because of what Mariah was actually doing, or because she was slinging red paint around the Drag Race stage? Next up, she's a woman. Love Cracker. So she comes out and she's giving a reference to her Dr. Dill character that was born on season 10. The performance, the look, everything about this is quintessential Cracker. She gave us a talent show performance that both reminded and told us exactly who she is as a person. She's witty, she's funny, she's Jewish, she's white, she's a woman, she's thin, she's salty, and she's a cracker. All of her catchphrases sort of all tied up into this one song. So Cracker's Dr. Dill outfit reveals to a really gorgeous little dance outfit. It's this snow white bodysuit with some fringe around the hem of the leg and some jewels on the breast area. I think Cracker looks absolutely gorgeous here. I love that platinum white hair on her. She looks like a little angel just dancing across the stage. Her outfit was hot and her performance was even hotter. I love that she not only looked beautiful and gave us comedy, but was also able to throw in some really, really well-timed choreography, shablams, death drops, whatever you want to call them. I mean, she killed it from A to Z. This was a drag number that I would pay to see. Next up is Blair St. Clair. She came out in this really bizarre outfit. It really was not my favorite. It's kind of an immediate rot for me. It's basically a black lacy bodysuit with some nude illusion mesh around like the shoulders and going down the sleeves of her arms, making it look like those lace pieces are kind of like glued to her skin instead of being part of the costume. But something about it is just screaming like ice skater to me. I'm not totally sure if that's the vibe she was going for, but I'm getting flashbacks to Ivy Winter's little ice skating look that she wore, and that was definitely not my favorite thing. She's doing live vocals to a song with lyrics about 9 lives, which just made me think of the food that I feed my cat. And she kind of slowly meanders around the stage while she moans out these lyrics. 9 lives, 9 lives, oh. I didn't totally hate it. She's a good singer, alright, but it just felt a little off to me. I just don't know what was going on. Maybe she was having a bad vocal day, I don't know. But I think that just further proves the point that I was saying earlier, that the talent show on the RuPaul's Drag Race episode 1 of the All-Star seasons are not the place to do live vocals. So before we go any further, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to press that subscribe button if you're not already a part of my channel. Oh, and by the way, I have merch now, so don't forget to check it out. It's on that little merch shelf thing below this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to it. Next up is Ongina. She ran out of gas really early in this performance. I felt so bad for her. She was talking online about how nerves really got to her that day, which we also got to see in the reading challenge. And Ongina's reads were maybe some of the saddest reads that we have ever seen on Drag Race. Anyways, so I was excited immediately when she came out onto the stage in the little toy car. I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna be really funny, campy, silly, exciting. And then she just got up out of that car and started stumbling across the stage. She had 2 reveals and not a lot of choreography to a track that was basically just a dance mashup of some of RuPaul's more popular songs. But there was really no talent here. She's wearing a turquoise kimono with racing stripes along like the collar, the sleeves, on the inside trim, which reveals to an even shorter, sparkling, icy white dance costume. I don't know. There was nothing really wrong with the looks here. I thought the pink one was actually the hottest of the bunch, but there was just no context for which her reveals were occurring in. Like, they weren't really happening at pivotal moments of the track that she was dancing to, if you could call it dancing. It was just kind of like, okay, a reveal, great, what's next? I think her performance was a little unsettling in general because there were no actual words in the tracks, there were no lyrics to latch onto, and then the choreography that she was giving was more of a choreo don't. I guess you could say her performance was kind of an homage to RuPaul and the show in general, but I think it was closer to a hate crime. This was a rot. And next up is Derrick Barry. Say what you want about her, she makes great TV. There's just something about the emptiness behind Derrick's eyes that really make you excited to hear what she's going to say next. It's like watching a train wreck, you can't take your eyes off and you're just like, give me more, give me more, give me more. As an example, in her workroom entrance, she was talking about how she's moved on from doing Britney and doesn't want to just be the Britney queen, but comes in a Britney look. In the talent show, she comes out in a Britney look. Admittedly, she looks gorgeous. I think this is a great hair and outfit for her, but it's just so Brittany. Like, you gotta give us something different. So she teases us, and in the first line, she's like, hey, it's Brittany, y'all. Just kidding. And then she goes on to do like 10 or 12 some odd impressions, I guess, if you could call them that, of popular celebrities like Cher, Joan Rivers, Miley Cyrus.
If she wants to adopt or borrow a baby from Malawi.
Cher, you called me after Madonna? You!
It was interesting, but I'm just not really sure why she did that. Something about the delivery was a bit off. I think she was missing some pausing in there to let the audience laugh. And I think she was also missing some jokes to make the audience laugh. So her look is going to be a hot, but the performance fell pretty flat. It was a rot. It's such a shame because, again, I love watching Derrick on the screen. It's endlessly entertaining. But if she had came out and just done like a Britney lip sync, like a sexy Britney lip sync, she probably would have slayed and maybe even won the talent show. Next up is Jujubee. She looked gorgeous on stage, maybe the best of the bunch for this talent show. That full-length lacy black gown was absolutely stunning, and that gray hair was really pretty. I think she looks hot, and she's definitely giving me those Grandma Barbie vibes in this performance. When I originally watched this, I thought that she was singing live. It just sounds so good and like not auto-tuned.
Trying to get you off my mind. I don't wanna think.
Which I think is really just a testament to how good her actual vocals are. I think it did come out that she actually was not singing live, she was lip syncing, but she could have fooled me. I mean, if you are up there on a stage and you're fooling the audience at home or in person or whatever, and you're doing a lip sync, baby, that's a talent. Cash in on that. Juju's performance was hot. And finally, for the talent show, we get India closing us out. She killed it. Oh my God. I had no expectation for India. Like, there was no bar. I just had no idea what she was going to do or how well she was going to do it, but I was blown away. India's performance is a like classic quintessential drag number. She is giving us choreo, the house down boots, that neck. Oh my God, I thought she was gonna snap her spine spinning around on that stage, moving that hair like that. I was like, girl, you okay? The lip sync was to an original recording, of course referring to when Mimi first picked India up during a lip sync in their original seasons. Drag is not a context sport. So it was funny, relevant to her character, and also super amazingly choreographed. You can tell that India has spent time in Vegas performing and doing it well. That makeup was on point, the hairography was amazing, and the actual choreo was jaw-dropping. So India does win the talent show, and then the shocking twist of All Stars 5 is that we're going to have lip sync assassins lip sync against the winners of the challenges. So they reveal that Yvie Oddly is there to lip sync, and I'm thinking, is Yvie really a lip sync assassin? And then by the end of the lip sync, I was like, oh, take the knife out of India's back, because god damn, that bitch was assassinated by Yvie. The twisting, the crazy movements, I mean, you know, we've seen Yvie perform and she brought it. There was a reveal moment where she took off the goggles, which I was scared that she was going to leave on the whole time to show this really cool eye makeup. She made it look like it was India's first night in drag. Yvie killed it, no competition. So of course, Yvie does win this lip sync and she reveals Derrick Barry's lipstick in her breasticle. And nobody takes home a cash prize. It actually gets rolled over to the next week, which makes the incentive to win even greater. It's gonna be a fun season. So while the talent show overall was admittedly a little bit lackluster compared to some previous seasons, I think India's was my hottest hot of the evening. And of course, I always ask my generous patrons to vote on their hottest hot. Their hottest talent show performance was Jujubee. So of course I like to say thank you so much to my generous patrons that make Bussy Queen possible, and give a special shout out to the patrons subscribed at my hot tier. Bradley, Curtis, Derrick, Jenny, Matthew, Maxwell, Rick, Seek, Shannon, Sean, Timotheus, Tom, Vanessa, Drew, and Sunshine. If you'd like to join my Patreon and get early access to videos, vote on hottest hot polls, and more, please check out the link in the description of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we are traveling back in time to review the runway, Love the Skin You're In, from episode 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5. It was a great runway, so let's get into the looks. First up, she's living in skin. It's India Ferrah. Why do so many things in this season always go back to Yvie Winters? She really was the OG of it all. This look is very much a choice, okay? I think it's really, really pretty. I think India looks gorgeous. Her makeup and hair this entire season across all her looks, untouchable. The bitch knows how to use cosmetics. This look for me isn't something that I personally like, and that's totally okay. But for what it is, I think she actually has done this look very well. There's not a rhinestone out of place, and she would look great on a figure skating rink. I'm gonna go ahead and give this look a hot. I really like how there's a touch of red color, the heart at her waist, giving a little bit of drama and flair to the look. I really also love the mix of the different nude beige colors interwoven. I think that was an interesting thing that nobody else really did. As far as how this look represents loving the skin you're in, I don't know. I guess like if her skin is just like bedazzled dance costumes, great. She actually says that this look is supposed to represent racial unity. Okay. Next up, looking like a sparkling bottle of rosé. This is definitely one of Jujubee's best looks across the entire season. She had a lot of killer looks and a lot of surprises, actually. This being one of them. She looks so glamorous. I love the silhouette on this, the little mermaid poof out at the bottom. This color looks like a pretty little light pink, and I'm living for it, and I think it's hot. I also cannot get over the hair. I think one of the judges makes the comment that she looks like a champagne flute or something, which is absolutely correct. That hair, the way it just like bubbles up and like sits 2 feet higher than her head. She did that. The other thing I will say is Jujubee knows her body so well at this point. I think just like that comes with doing drag for so many years. You learn what shapes and sizes just look the best on your frame, and girl, she's got it down. It puts the lotion on its skin. Or else it gets the hose again. Next up is Alexis Mateo. This look is it. This is it. My only complaint about the look is actually the weird shading on the centerpiece in the chest. It's meant to, I think, look like contoured breasts, but it just looks a little bruisey or something, and a little too pecky and less booby, which is weird because Alexis always wears very large breasts and padding up top. So I don't understand why she thought it was necessary to, I guess, add that illusion into that part of the gown. Nonetheless, the rest of the gown, flawless, perfect, beautiful. She says she made this actually. Just sort of like disregarding that little fleshy, bruisey thing in the middle. This may have been Alexis's best gown across the entire season. Oh, and you know, my other complaint is gonna be her short little heel that she has on, but that's kind of just one of the things that she always does is like the little heel. And that's okay. Girl, you can't even really see the heel in a gown that long. Why not? It also is Alexis's signature loaf hair. I don't love a loaf, but you know what? Again, it's her signature thing. And the skin that she is in is made of yeast. This look is hot. Next up, Blair in the pink and one in the stink. It's Blair St. Clair. Yeah, this is a really cool look. I mean, it's basically like a Parisian pink panther with yellow hair. The question is, why? Why? Where in the world was this inspiration coming from? I do not know. I think she just was maybe trying a little bit too hard to try to push boundaries and like be a little bit edgy here. And so she was like, you know what? Everyone else is gonna be wearing nude illusions and nude colored gowns, and I'm gonna wear all pink. Because I want to be different. You do you, girl. Love that pink. But in all seriousness, the fit of this, the silhouette, I mean, it's totally gorgeous. She looks like a fashion model that is like walking some runway in Vogue. I know it's not easy to blend out colors like that deep pink on her face. Like for example, when I did that gray look on my face, oh my God, that took so long to make the blending look even. And I think it was also a really smart choice to put blue as the eyeshadow and lip color. And the yellow is a really nice pop of color here to give some contrast and excitingness to the look, but maybe a solid pink hair here might have been a little bit better just for some consistency and like the monochromaticness of it all. The bow around her neck is a cute detail, and girl, we love a shoulder pad moment. Not mad about it. It's hot. Next up, legs for days. Wow, I have this paused on a frame of Cracker, and those legs are so muscular. She is thick. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is a very like high fashion couture moment for Cracker, and this is a look I think that is so rare to see Cracker in because she is so frequently trying to do something very campy and over the top, maybe acknowledging her like Cracker name. And this, I think, kind of like strays away from that. You know, she usually has big blonde hair. This is more of a natural color on her, which actually I really, really like her in brunette hair. I also like myself in brunette hair. Love the hair you're in. Yeah, this gown is gorgeous. I want to know who made this. It's very like high fashion looking. I sound like such an ignorant turd. It's real high fashion looking. Well, it is. It is quite high fashion looking, and I think it's hot. Next up is Mayhem Miller. So she is wearing a knockoff of the Thierry Mugler dress that was made for Kim Kardashian in the 2019 Met Gala. It doesn't help Mayhem coming down the runway in this that Brita Filter also just did a version of this look in her season of Drag Race. For me, seeing this it's like the third time that I'm seeing this, and it's the second time that I'm seeing a bad recreation of the original. To Mayhem's credit, I will say that she was able to turn this gown around so quickly. The Met Gala was in May of 2019, and then they were filming All Stars on like June 5th is what google.com says. I think if I didn't know the original gown, how luscious and perfectly crafted and fitting to Kim Kardashian's body it was, then maybe I would have liked this. But I just can't help but compare Kim's dress to this dress and think that this just looks like a cheap Dollar General knockoff. And then all of the crystals aren't really falling off of her body so much as they are dangling on top of the fabric. I do love Mayhem, and I love her skin, and I love her hair and makeup. I think she does look gorgeous. This just wasn't the right choice for me. Next up, are you feeling stoned? It's Shea Coulee. The reason that she won All Stars was stuff like this. I mean, wow. Wow. So this is episode 2. It's Shea's first win. She comes out in this killer runway. This, I think, was just too powerful for her own good. Girl, this did so much damage to every other girl in the competition. Like, once the viewers and once the judges saw this, it was like, oh, everyone else go home. She looks like a regal queen ready to make some new commandments. This is sick. This is an example of contouring on nude fabric that looks really good. When you have contouring on stretch catsuits like this that can really carve out your body in the right way, it creates this illusion on your eye that is so insane. My only critique, I just have to say it, I wish the necklace was actually like a real metal necklace. It looks like a foam piece attached to the top of this catsuit. It just like cheapens a little bit when you look too close, you know, but as long as you're looking at it from a generally safe distance, it is so gorgeous and so amazing and so hot. I really love seeing this makeup on Shea too, because it's like, how did she have the time to put this level of detail and beauty into her makeup? Like all the white highlights above the brow, on her nose and her chin and all that. It's amazing. They only have like an hour and a half, and girl, it takes me like 2.5 hours to do this face. So I don't know how I would ever survive on Drag Race. Before we go any further, a quick message from our sponsor, me. My work is supported by my loving family of patrons over on patreon.com/bussyqueen. And if you aren't familiar with Patreon, it's kind of like a monthly tip bucket that you can use to help support me and then also help me make videos and participate in the community I'm building over there. You can join my Patreon for really amazing exclusive benefits like early access, your name and credits, personal shout outs, and I also just launched a brand new Patreon exclusive podcast. It's called Bussy's Back Door. The first episode is up now, and I'll be doing one every single month. So I would love for you to go check it out over on patreon.com/bussyqueen. Now, let's get back to it. And finally, the little birdie that leaves the nest this episode. It's Ongina. So the judges had a lot of issues with this look because they said it was swallowing her and her head is just kind of looking like a little egg sitting on top of a nest. And that's unfortunate because it actually is a really pretty gown. I think the gown itself is a hot. I think she just wasn't necessarily thinking about the size of her body when she was either getting this designed or making it herself. From the back, I love the way it looks. Like there's so many details with the feathers on the shoulders and like going down on the sides of her body onto the train of the gown. It's stunning. It truly is. I think the parasol is a really interesting and cool accessory to have with this gown, but I'm not really sure that it totally matches. It kind of looks like she either had the gown made or just already had it. And then she was like, oh, a parasol would be really cool with this, so I'm gonna make one that kind of is inspired by the dress. It looks like she did use some of the same materials on the parasol, but all the lace on the parasol doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I think just an umbrella made totally of the feathers and the pattern from the gown, just to give it a totally cohesive from head to toe vibe, would have been better. And next up, this was a good runway for a lot of these girls. Mariah, wow. This was Mariah's best look across all of her looks on All Stars 5. Gotta say that. I love that this is not over rhinestoned. Like a nice little strip of gold Swarovskis coming down one side, and then they just sort of softly explode out onto the rest of the gown. It's gorgeous. I love that it's princessy and fluffy and cute, but that it's also sexy, because the collar is just very like, oh, I'm a nice little girl, and then she turns around and you can see the lace from the corset, and it's like, ooh, you might be kind of bad. And whether you're team shirts or skins, I think you'll agree with me that this look is hot. And something a little bit different for this episode, and like for hot or rots going forward, I think I'll also be bringing Rue into the hot or rot hot seat. This look is interesting for Rue. I like that Rue sometimes kind of acknowledges the theme, but then also most of the time totally doesn't. You know, she never wants to be upstaged is the reason that that happens. But this dress is really beautiful. It's a blood red, pink, and white with some holographic tiger stripes, all going in different patterns and shapes. I don't really know what that flower is doing on her shoulder, but I guess it's kind of cute. I don't really love when Rue wears white, like solid white hair. Something about it just looks a little off in this look in particular. But you know what? Rue looks gorgeous. I'm gonna give her a hot. So Shea does win this episode, I think mostly just because that runway was so stunning. She ends up lip syncing against Alyssa Edwards, and this got me really excited for the rest of the season because I was like, oh, they're actually gonna have like the classic lip sync assassins, you know? They're gonna have like Alyssa and Coco and Trinity K. Bonet and queens like that. Anyways, Alyssa looks amazing. I love the outfit that she's wearing. She looks gorgeous, absolutely stunning. I love Shea's outfit change that she did for this lip sync. So Shea wins and reveals the lipstick says Ongina. This is really an interesting moment here. This episode was basically the setup of the downfall of Miz Cracker in All Stars 5. Think about it. The episode starts off with Cracker revealing that she would have an Abin de la Creme moment sent Ongina home by writing her name on the lipstick. That ends up setting up the story for the entire rest of the episode. We see Miz Cracker versus almost every single other girl in the cast, and then the girl that she, quote, bullied in the beginning of the episode ends up getting sent home. And so it's like, oh, it's Cracker's fault that Ongina, a queen that so many people love, didn't believe in herself and got sent home. And at the same time, we absolve Shea of any wrongdoing by sending Ongina home by staging Cracker as the villain. Just something for you to think about. So this week, no surprise, my hottest hot is going to go to Shea Coulee. I also asked my patrons over on patreon.com to vote for their hottest hot. And for this week's runway, they chose Shea Coulee. I also want to say thank you so much to my patrons for making Bussy Queen possible and helping me make videos. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Curtis, Zingcat, Drew, Timotheus, Maxwell, Rick, Jenny, Sean, Bradley, Oscar Dickerson, Derrick, Michelle, Tina, Catherine, Veronica, Midnight 19, Oscar Villacorta, Ed, Kevin, Crystal, Kiki and John, and Caroline, who are all subscribed at the hot tier of my Patreon. I'd also like to give an extra special shout out to the patrons subscribed at my hottest hot tier, Shannon, Tom, Sunshine, and Glenn. And I'd also like to give an extra special shout out to the patrons subscribed at the Bussy Queen Collector tier, Marty and Matthew. Thank you all for your continued support and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. Did you miss me? I sure did. On a real note, I am so sorry for leaving y'all stranded in the midst of a drag race hurricane. Sometimes taking a break is all you need to get your Bussy refreshed, rejuvenated, rehydrated, and back in action. So let's get started. This week, we'll be reviewing episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 5. This week's runway theme was 3-3-3. 3 looks in one. And in the main challenge, the girls had to design a suite. But thank God there are travel restrictions because I would not want to stay in one of those hotel rooms. First up is Blair St. Clair, and she says she is starting off her 3-in-1 in her 1950s best Sunday dress. This is really cute. It's kind of exactly what I would expect from Blair. It's like sweet, it's pretty, it's pink, satin fabric. It kind of looks like a nightgown almost, and something about it ages her just a little bit, and I'm not loving that aspect of it. I think it's just because of the era of the clothing style, but it's very pretty and, might I say, hot. Oh, I miss saying that. And for her second look, she twirls off the pink robe to reveal a 60s mod dress. It's bright yellow and it doesn't necessarily I think match the pink little fascinators she had or maybe the shoes that she had on either. Obviously, this is a dress that was probably typically worn with go-go boots back in the 60s and stuff. It still is very cute. I'm loving what she's doing, taking us through the decades of fashion. Finally, she rips off her yellow mod 60 dress to reveal this 70s disco jumper jumpsuit, and it's fabulous. She also has a wig reveal where she takes off that cute little brown bun moment and reveals some long flowing blonde locks. Blair looks so gorgeous in blonde hair, I could probably never. This look is really hot as well. It fits her well. If a little bit plain, they're all simple and understated, but extremely effective in delivering the style of the 3 decades that she chose to deliver in these 3 looks. And so impressive that she was able to have so much fabric hiding under that cute little silk nightgown from the beginning, and I don't know, just have a full jumpsuit under there, girl. Damn. Next up is Mayhem Miller, and immediately she says that she's giving us vintage, and it must be vintage curtains from the hotel that she built her suite in. The fabric is a little bit strange. It just looks kind of heavy and bulky. I don't necessarily like the presentation of the first part of her look. She kind of looks like she's working the reception desk at the hotel. It's not necessarily as fabulous as I would like it to be. So she rips off the jacket, which is the same outer fabric as the skirt and inner fabric as the bodysuit that she's about to reveal. The construction of this was very detailed, planned, and I like how all of the pieces tie together and correlate. For the third part of her look, she actually rips off the skirt and, like I said, reveals a bodysuit, which is meant to, I think, look more like a swimsuit. This is actually my favorite moment of Mayhem's runway. She rips off the wig and reveals the little bathing cap. She's ready to take a dip in the pool. She looks the fiercest and most beautiful, I think, in this. With that other hair and that bulky jacket and skirt, it just looked a little bit too old-fashioned for me. I love a good reference and vintage, but I want to see it a little more updated and brought into a more modern context. So then the question is, did Mayhem really give us 3 looks in one? Kinda, but maybe not really. Blair literally gave us 3 full different outfits on the runway, all somehow hiding beneath that little pink silk robe. Mayhem basically had a 3-piece outfit that she kind of took off 1 piece at a time to slightly change the mood of the outfit, which I think was a cool interpretation. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a hot. But in reality, we saw all 3 pieces when she first stepped foot on the runway, so there wasn't anything too surprising happening there. We knew exactly where she was going as she took off piece by piece. I think the big surprise was the wig reveal with a little bathing cap in the final look, which was the bathing suit, which I think was the hottest of the 3. And next up is Alexis Mateo. Bam! She walks out looking like a time wizard from Final Fantasy. I don't know if you guys ever played that, with that weird little red cap on. Something about this is so strange. It looks a little bit like Kill Billy at the same time. The kimono with the black and the white is giving me that fantasy. And then the hat with the little red flag on top. I'm like, girl, what the hell is going on here? It's really confusing. I don't love it. I'm gonna be honest. It's just very disjointed there, and I'm gonna give this first presentation of her look a rot. So she rips off the little hat, thank God. I mean, what is that? It's literally lampshade. Anyways, she takes it off and reveals her big signature pony loaf sitting atop her head. And we see that she has these really pretty baby hairs painted on the side of her face, super oversized and dramatic. I think it's a really cool detail, something we've never really seen on the runway done like that, especially with a look like this. She's wearing this kind of Latina style prom dress. This is definitely something my Latina girlfriends back from high school would have worn to prom and homecoming and stuff like that. I'm loving the cultural references here. It's very bright, it's fun, it's pretty, and it's not necessarily like fashionable, but that's not really the point of a dress like this. It's sort of just like a dress that you wear when you want to be a princess, and I'm buying it. She looks hot in this. So the third look, again, a totally different look, almost like burlesque style, but with neon colors, bodysuit with like a nude mesh piece at the top. It's interesting, I'll say that. The fringe is fun, it shakes, it grooves, it moves. I think it looks good on the stage, and this piece most like matches her makeup, and you know, it's a fantasy, it's fun. I would love to see Alexis Mateo on stage performing in this. I think it looks hot. So the second and third of Alexis's looks don't match the first like in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what circus she was going to as a child, but I never saw any of those three characters at the Barnum and Bailey circus. I don't know, let me know in the comments. Next up is India Ferrah. This look was a gag and a half. The houndstooth, ugh, I'm a slut for houndstooth. It's hot. It's hot, hot, hot immediately. Also super, super fashionable, because there's some queens that like really love doing fashionable things, and there are some that just love doing drag. Alexis Mateo is a great example of a queen that loves doing drag, and all of her looks are very draggy. But India is kind of a blend between those two, because she is a very high drag character, but she also apparently can bring out the fashion. You can immediately see the three pieces of her outfit, and I'm like not even mad that it's literally just really one outfit with three pieces. I love the fascinator headpiece. There's like a little button sitting right on top that's really cute. First to go in the outfit is the skirt portion, and she kind of reveals that, oh, there's actually like pant legs under that, which, as we know, can be very difficult for a queen to pull off because it's hard to wear pants on a runway. She does it successfully. This is hot as well. So finally, she takes off the top piece and the middle piece and reveals that, oh, it's actually just like a bodysuit with like a strappy belt thing going down her waist. Overall, I think the look is really cool. Is it three looks in one? No, not really. And really, it's even less three looks than one than Mayhem's was, but it's still so fashionable and gorgeous that I just have to say that it's hot. So while her look was super hot in and of itself, I think she kind of just missed the mark on delivering three looks in one. So before we go any further, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and to remind you to tap that subscribe button and hit that like button while you're down there. Oh, and by the way, I have merch now, so don't forget to check it out. It's on that little merch shelf thing below this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to it. Next up is Sharon Needles. Oh wait, that's Jujubee. Interesting. I don't immediately love this. She's sort of dressed as like a spooky witch, but it just looks so costumey. I could literally go pick this hat and this dress up at like the Walmart costume section during Halloween. Not to mention that she's literally carrying like a plastic toy bucket down the runway. It's like, girl, it's just a little too cheap, and like, we love a campy moment, but we need something with a little more effort put into it. Like, why don't we have a bucket that's like a little more exciting? Or I don't know, like carry a real jack-o'-lantern pumpkin down the runway. Do something that's gonna shock and awe me. Yeah, her first look for me is rot, even though I love spook. Girl, I'm a spooky queen. So next, Jujubee takes off the spooky witch dress and the giant curly white hair and witch hat to reveal this kind of nod to Mrs. Claus. She's carrying a present and another sparkly bucket down the runway. Girl, why are we carrying buckets down the runway? Because girl, I got nothing but buckets of rot for these looks. This just looks, again, a little bit low effort compared to what the other girls are doing on the runway. Like, girl, look around. This ain't it. So finally, Jujubee reveals that, oh, Mrs. Claus is actually a slut, and she has some naughty lingerie, and she likes carrots. This is another rot for me. I'm sorry, these looks just really didn't do it for me. She's trying to be campy, but she's just not taking it far enough. Like, look at a queen like Manila. When she walks the runway, it is not only super, super campy and funny and smart, but also high fashion. It doesn't look like she's picking up the pieces from the Dollar General clearance section. So credit where credit is due. She has at least bedazzled the corset that she's wearing, but it really is just a red corset with some panties and a bunny tail glued onto the back. It's a rot. Next up, Mariah Paris Balenciaga. This first look is really, really cool. It's making me think of Tron, all the futuristic, you know, sci-fi things that I love from movies. The little helmet headpiece that she's wearing is really fun. I love the furry poncho thing that is around her body. My only critique with this first part of the look is I would love to have seen nothing peeking out from under the poncho. Like, we can very clearly see the next reveal is going to be some sort of gown or something that's going to fall out of this poncho. I'm still gonna give it a hot because I think it is fun and fresh. Was it perfectly executed? Maybe not, but I think it's a hot, absolutely. So she takes off the helmet and reveals a really pretty gown. You know, that we knew that that was going to happen. We saw the train of the gown hanging out of the poncho. I'm not sure really how these two looks are like in sync or linking together in any way, shape, or form, but here we are. The dress is pretty. It's a little basic, I guess, you know. C for effort, she passed. We'll give it a warm, hot. My critique for it is just there's nothing really super stunning about it. And I would love to have maybe seen like another headpiece or like a really exciting, you know, hair under that. I don't know. Something. So for the third outfit, she takes down the like breast area part of the fabric of the dress and it falls to her feet, and she has on this really sparkly like chest piece. It's kind of making me think of her entrance look, and I'm having really terrible flashbacks. Not loving it. It is pretty. She says it was inspired by J-Lo. Okay, I see where she's going. I don't think that this is amazing. Again, I think it's just kind of another warm hot for her. Next up, Miz Cracker. Finally, somebody giving us some comedy. I needed a laugh, girl, after that episode with those hotel rooms. That was rough. That was really, really rough. Miz Cracker's first look is a Fabergé egg, which is really smart. It's really funny, and we haven't really seen anything like this before. It's making me think of Lady Gaga's like space egg from, I think, one of her VMA performances. Iconic. I'm kind of gagging because she's actually walking the runway with the egg like fully closed. I'm guessing like peeking out from behind the little crevices of it so that she can see where she's walking. Girl, these other queens could never. So she hatches and metamorphosizes into her second form. Fabergé egg pieces become a really beautiful bottom part of the gown. The purple with the gold reflex on that fabric, gorgeous. This is opulent. This is beautiful. This is what an All Stars 5 runway should look like. Those other queens need to take notes because they're not doing it the way she's doing it. God, Cracker looks gorgeous. She rips off the bottom part of the really intricate purple gown, reveals that there's like a gold bodysuit moment happening under it, and she has this little train that's just flowing behind her as she walks. It's pretty. I guess I would have expected her like third and final form to be the most jaw-dropping, but it was actually the most boring. The first and second were way more visually stunning and surprising to see, while the third one was just like, okay, you've got a corset and some, you know, crazy, poofy, sleevey things on your arms. Overall though, hot, hot, hot. These looks stunning. And girl, next up is Miss Jasmine Masters walking out in her butterfly cocoon. You know, credit where credit is due. This is what Jasmine thought that she looked like, but we all know how that really looked. The makeup that Shea has on is really cool. It's daring, it's fun, it's fresh. You know, we've never seen anything like this. It looks a little bit like, I think inspired by Hungry's makeup. So I'm loving the little insect references, and she is like fully an insect character as she's walking down the runway. The actual gown thing, it's this sort of caterpillar pod thing. I mean, the colors are atrocious, but at the same time, they're amazing. I mean, that like yellow fabric with the like little pink tacky flowers just all over it, like so gross, but like it works so well because it's just so freaky and weird. It's just like a caterpillar on an LSD trip. This is what Alice in Wonderland was seeing when she ate those cookies and drank that juice. You know what I'm saying? The second part of her look, she takes off the little like larvae moment at the bottom, and then she has on this really pretty flowy pink moment happening. She's twirling, she's spinning, it's cute. She has shed her caterpillar skin. skin. Finally, the big reveal. The moth has hatched from her chrysalis, and she has these like wings that spring out, because it's not that often that somebody brings out like mechanical pieces on the runway like this. It's really cool. I think the hair also, I just have to point out, is a really fun hair. It's like this white blonde with this curled up bun moment at the top, and it's a bob that ends at her chin. It's really pretty. So yeah, she does her little insect thing and flies down the runway. She makes a comment about how the judges are living for this look, but actually they were dying. I didn't really understand the critique the judges were saying that it looked arts and craftsy. I mean, I guess I do because I said that it looked tacky as well, but at the same time, I recognize the artistry and the beauty behind the craftsmanship that it took to create this look. It's intricate, it's detailed, like all of those rhinestones all over her entire body in different colors, and the way the pinks and the yellows and the oranges and reds all blend in and out together. It's stunning to look at. Like, I think the references are really fun, and this look is absolutely hot. So RuPaul reveals that her favorite suite was the gold suite, but let's be honest, that Golden Girls one was a total train wreck. The Amazon one was just confusing, and then the gold room, I guess, sure, it was kind of funny. Not the best. RuPaul gives the win to Jujubee in like a weird kind of surprise twist, kind of acknowledging that Juju was the only funny person in this challenge, which is kind of tea. She pretty much never fails to be funny when she needs to be. She's the perfect amount of like shady, down to earth, silly, just a really fun, lovable person. So congrats to Juju for securing her first win in Drag Race history across 3 seasons. Girl, well deserved. She ends up lip syncing against Monet X Change, our surprise lip sync assassin. Interesting lip sync. Juju honestly really didn't do it for me. I don't know what she was doing. She was just kind of like smiling and nodding the whole time, and it just wasn't like the lip sync queen that I feel like I know her as, especially compared to Monet absolutely slaying and, as she said, living the song. She did that. They end up sending Mariah home, and yeah, it was time for Mariah to go. I don't think that she brought the level of drag excellence that some of the other girls were bringing. So this week, my hottest hot is definitely going to go to Miz Cracker. I think it was just a level of beauty and elegance that nobody else really rose up to meet on the runway this week. Every week, I also ask my patrons to vote for their hottest hot. And this week, they've chosen
Miz Cracker and Shea Coulee.
So I do want to say thank you so much to all of my generous patrons for making Bussy Queen possible, and give a special shout out to the patrons subscribed at my hot tier. Bradley, Curtis, Derrick, Jenny, Matthew, Maxwell, Rick, Seek, Shannon, Sean, Timotheus, Tom, Vanessa, Drew, and Sunshine. If you would like to join my Patreon and help me create videos and get early access to those videos, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of this video. It sure would mean a lot. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, Ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today, we'll be reviewing the runways from RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 5, Episode 4. These All-Star seasons are going, and the girls are going, gone. This week's runway category is Camo Couture. But first, I want to say thank you so much to my generous patrons who make Bussy Queen possible. Now, let's get started. First up is Jujubee, and I was getting some major like Kim Kardashian vibes from this. I think it's the giant cape that she has on. It's really pretty. It's kind of like this pale pink, maybe it's like a suede material or something. Very, very powerful, very CEO businesswoman, but you know what? You can't see what she's up to because she's in camo. I love this look. It's really, really pretty. Juju looks hot immediately, I will say. The hair and makeup is on point. This is where Juju's hair and makeup needs to stay. I'm absolutely living for it. The dress itself isn't my favorite. My critique on it is that it just looks a little boxy once you get like to her waist and below. Like it looks really nicely fitted in the chest area, and I love that that camo pattern is inside of that really pretty cape as well, but I would love to have seen like a really form-fitting cocktail dress under that instead of what she has under it. But you know, overall this is a really great look. I love that she's carrying a little red handbag as an accent. I do also agree with what Carson said. He said that this look just needed some like a little extra oomph, but this look is so chic that when you start adding like crazy accessories to chic looks, they start to just look like you have too much on. So with that said, I really think I probably would actually just leave this outfit alone and just have that dress tailored a little bit tighter to her body. And I think she definitely elevated it from some of the other looks that we've seen her in this season, because some of them really are just a little too simple for All Stars. This, I think, is just towing that line. Juju was one of my standouts in the challenge, and girl, it was kind of a rough challenge, but she's always there for like comedy and quick moments, and I enjoyed watching her on the SheMZ thing, even though the challenge in general was just a little bit of a she-wreck. And next up is Miz Cracker. This look is kind of spicy. It's very Ariana meets like Lady Gaga in Rain on Me, but with camo. She literally predicted Rain on Me like, what, they filmed this in 2019? Gag. Cracker's mind, too powerful. Big brain, 10 million IQ. I love this look because of all of the shapes that it has. Those really like powerful pointed shoulder pads, the pointy bra cones, and then it all pops so well with like the cutouts at her waist and on her bare chest. It's really pretty. Sexy even. The gold accessories, I think, are a really smart way to spice this up a little bit. I love the high pony on her. And she even did a little bit of like an extra dramatic brow for this look, which I kind of live for. She looks like the GI General Cracker that is gonna give you some orders. And you know what? You better fall in line. My critique for this look is going to be the boots that she chose to wear with this outfit. I feel that while they match, they don't truly match. I would like, why not just put the boots in the same fabric that is the rest of your outfit? That would have completed it really, really well, because I think leaving that unpatterned and in a satin fabric instead of like that sort of just matte cotton that the rest is made of, it kind of clashes for me a little bit. I don't love the way that it looks from head to toe, but overall the look is very hot and Cracker looks fierce on the runway. I love when she turns around and you can see how long her ponytail is. We love a power pony, and it's falling right on top of the back of her like two-tiered ruffled skirt that is really pretty. And again, you can see that gold hardware continued around the back of the skirt. A lot of attention to detail was put into this. Gaggity gaggity gag gag gag. Next up is Blair St. Clair. I lived for this look. Oh my god. Whew. This is like Blair in high drag. This is what we have been waiting for, or at least me. I don't know about you, but I feel like we've just seen Blair in so much like, oh, I'm a pretty woman. And I'm like, okay, we know you're a pretty woman. What else can we see? She's doing a very more like high fashion runway type of makeup. It's browless, and that smoky cut crease just like blends nicely up her brow bone. Oh, it is like chef's kiss beautiful. And then that paired with that beautiful little swoop diddy doop diddy updo. Those butterflies are like in the hair, they're on the outfit. Oh my god, we haven't even got to the outfit, which is stunning. I will say it was quite a brave choice to put butterflies on her outfit, considering that butterflies have not had the best history in Drag Race. They are usually an omen. Thank you, Asia O'Hara, for starting that trend. I'm getting this sort of like ethereal wood nymph vibe from her, like is a tree, or she's just like a fixture in the forest, and she's so still that the butterflies have just rested all over her body because she's a goddess. This is stunning. It's hot, hot, hot. This is exactly what I've been waiting for from Blair. I love to see queens like take a chance and really do something different and crazy and really, really surprise me. I love how form-fitted the rest of the outfit is compared to those huge giant shoulders. I think this is a great example of like balancing silhouettes. You can see how skinny and tiny her little waist and legs are. Really takes the cake for me. Next up is Shea Coulee. I'm so thrilled to see that somebody didn't just do the plain, you know, green and brown camo print. They went for the blue. I love blue tone camo. This is just taking the camo runway a little bit further. And of course, what else should we expect from Miss Shea Coulee? It looks really, really cool on her. I'm loving the like 60s vibes that she's giving with that little beehive hairdo and those really slim little like stylish pointy shades. It's very cute. She even took it one step further, of course, and brought out the watering can in a matching print to the fabric of her dress. I love it. I think what makes this really special is that she put a perspective to her runway. She didn't just say like, oh, I want to look sexy in camo. She said, I'm going to take you to a different decade. I'm going to give you some like cuts, silhouettes, hairs, and like just do the whole thing. It was a really smart way to do this runway. And over her outrageously high beehive hair, she has on the little like matching print handkerchief over the hair. The whole thing is just so cute. I really love it. My critique for this look is going to be that the dress part of what she's wearing looks a little bit loose, and I guess maybe that was just sort of like the era of this fashion. Tops like that would have fit like that, but I just think it would have hit a little bit harder had she had really like cinched that waist in and then had the little like skirt peplum moment coming out at the bottom. It almost just looks kind of like a little potato sack raincoat that she threw on top of her body, and then she has these like really skinny, powerful legs. All that said, that is just a little critique, and you know, I don't know that much. At the end of the day, I think she looks great and it's hot. And you know, every week I have to give kudos to her makeup. I feel like, oh my God, every time we see her, she is just looking so flawless, whether it's trying something new like last week's Moth Runway or just looking effing fierce. Ugh. And next up is Alexis Mateo. Bam! This is interesting. I don't think it's my favorite thing I've ever seen on the runway. It's like a snow camo thing. I guess my issue with it is it just looks a little like cliche or something. I'm trying to like pin where I've seen this or who I've seen this on, and I think I don't like it because it's making me think of that runway. There was like an end of the earth ball where they all did like snowy looks. Yes, Mayhem was in that one. It makes me think of that, and I just have bad thoughts and memories of that, and I don't like that. But the look is pretty, and like Shea, she chose to take the camo out of that very basic camo area, and she said, oh, I'm gonna do some snow camo. I'm gonna be like the Arctic snow witch, hiding, awaiting for my enemies to come out and blast them. I don't know. It's not something that I would expect to see Alexis Mateo doing, but I love that she is taking chances for sure. The sparkly leafy ice pieces that she has above her eyes look like they've just been kissed by a light blizzard. I think those are a really pretty accessory to put onto this look. I don't love the like green leafy twigs in the hair. I just kind of feel like if you're like an Arctic snow camo witch, there's probably not going to be like green leaves like that. Like usually in Arctic areas, leaves are like needles if they are going to be green at all, you know, like an evergreen tree or something, where these leaves are just very much like leaves that you would see in a more temperate kind of like biome. Come on, biology degree. So that little storyline isn't making a whole lot of sense for me there, but you know, we're in fantasy world here. Why not? I don't know. It's cool. It's hot. Yeah, it's hot. From this season, we have seen a lot of unexpected things for Miss Alexis Mateo. I'm so proud to see where she has come from in the past and where she is taking her drag now. Before we go any further, I want to remind you that I have a community of loyal Bussy Queen supporters that I love so much over on my Patreon. It's a fun little community where we vote every single week for the hottest hot, talk about the looks, and patrons get really cool benefits. Things like their name and credits, early access, and personal shoutouts at the end of my videos. If you would like to consider supporting me, Bussy Queen, you can do so by clicking the link to my Patreon in the description of this video. Now let's get back to it. And next up is Mayhem Miller. Imagine if that's all I said about her look. That's all I really want to say about it. Here's the thing. The look is cute, okay? It's like a cute club look. Like if she was on stage busting out a number, like, yeah, this is great. Love it for a club moment. But when you're on the runway of RuPaul's Drag Race and the other girls are doing things like bringing these unique storylines and perspectives to their looks, and you're just kind of wearing a basic bodysuit and thigh-high boots, it just doesn't measure up. And Mayhem has been doing this like the whole season so far. It's just very expected from her. And again, I feel like Mayhem just doesn't know who she is yet. I would love to see her really dig in to herself, find some like personal fashion, some personal perspective, and give us like a fresh take on something. Don't give us, oh, I'm just like a cute camo Barbie. Yeah, you're a cute camo Barbie, but like even Blair St. took this runway to somewhere that I was never ever expecting her to take it. So overall, yes, this look is technically hot. It looks good. She looks great, but it just isn't enough. It's just not all stars. I don't know, put a cape with it. Like a really big, pretty pink camo cape with it. Give me a headpiece. Give me like a prop. I really do have to say for Mayhem though, her body, her hair and makeup have really been on point this season. I think she has done a great job in those areas, improving since her season. Next up is Ferrah. Wow. This was interesting. There are things that I like though, and there are things that I don't like. I think the makeup is really cool, I do, but I hate that hair with that makeup. It's not it. It's not it. It's like so slicked back, and her features are painted so big on her face that it just doesn't make sense. Girl, proportionizing. Eureka taught us that, okay? We have to do it. It just, oof. If it were the same style with like 3 or 4 inches of volume, well, that would have been a different story. It's just like you can't have eyes like taking up half of your face and then have this like little greasy slicked back little slick hair. Because from the neck down, the look itself is a hot. It's fashion, darling. It's fashion. I really do like the neck down. It's fun. It has, you know, that perspective, that sort of, you know, unique fashionable take on camo that a lot of the other girls were bringing, and I think India does live up to what the other girls are doing, if not doing it even better than some of the queens that have had a little bit more experience on Drag Race. So I'm very proud of what India has been doing on the runways in all the episodes. She's really one to watch this season, actually. I'm kind of getting top 4 vibes from her. If I were gonna make my predictions right now, I would probably have to say like Shea, Cracker, Blair, and India. Just my random thought. We'll see how that prediction holds up. When you're looking at it from a distance, that wide shot of her outfit is really striking. I think the silhouette works really well. It's kind of like a really small hourglass at the top. There's a cape, and then she's got her legs and arms in some like tight leather black material, which is a pretty contrast to that kind of brighter green camo that she has on the top part of her body. I think it's well accessorized. The black earrings are matching her black lips and the darkness in her eyes, and that beautiful gold necklace is really pretty on her chest. The only thing I don't like about it from the neck down is actually probably the corset that's around her waist. It looks a little frumpy, like maybe it needs to be a little bit smaller. It just looks almost like too big for her, I guess. But overall, I'm gonna say this look is a hot. It surprised me. As for the challenge this week, well, I'm just gonna have to give that a flat rat. It was cringy. It really was. It was hard for me to sit through. And I hope I'm not being like a Debbie Downer about it or something, but something about the chemistry between these queens, it's off. It's a little stinky. Maybe I'm just comparing to season 12, oh my God, which I think will go down as one of the best seasons of Drag Race in the entire franchise. 12 was so powerful. The cast was just like, so good. And you know, on paper, All Stars 5 cast sounds good. Like all the ingredients are there, but they took the cake out of the oven a little too early and it's just still like mushy on the inside. You know what I'm saying? This week, of course, Miz Cracker did win the challenge and she lip synced against Miss Morgan McMichaels. I didn't really see the need for a double win, in all honesty. I thought Miz Cracker won that lip sync kind of hands down, although Morgan did do great. I just thought Cracker beat her. But I think this was one of the pushes to create some drama in this season, but Cracker and Morgan had Mayhem's lipstick. It was time for Mayhem to sashay away. I think she just really has struggled to stand out and bring a uniqueness to the show when so many of the other queens have such an established platform and voice. So my hottest hot this week is going to go to Little Miss Blair St. Clair. I just have to give her props for stepping out of her comfort zone, giving us this like wood nymph crazy fashion fantasy. If she can bring more stuff like this to the runway, that will make me a Blair stan. I might even venture to say that this is one of the most gorgeous mugs that she has done on this season so far. I also ask my patrons every week to vote for their hottest hot. And this week they've chosen Miz Cracker, Alexis Mateo. As always, I like to say thank you so much to my generous patrons for making Bussy Queen possible. And I want to give a special shout out to the patrons subscribed at my hot tier. They are my most loyal supporters and I love them very much. Matthew, Derrick, Tom, Vanessa, Bradley, Sean, Jenny, Rick, Maxwell, Shannon, Timotheus, Drew, Curtis, Seek, and Sunshine. If you would like to join the family and help make Bussy Queen possible, the link to check out my Patreon is in the description of this video. And don't be shy about it, just check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 5. The main challenge was Snatch Game of Love, and the runway was Prom Queen Fantasy. Woo! Whew. But before we get started, I want to say thank you so much to all of my generous patrons that make Bussy Queen possible. If you would like to help me make videos and join my Patreon family, check out the link in the description of this video. Now, let's get started. First up, Miz Cracker. We've seen Gaga done in Snatch Game before. It was a flop. Miss Fifi O'Hara tried it way back in season 4, and it's just hard to do someone like Gaga because she's just such an enigma of a person. There's just not a lot of catchphrases, although the ones that she does have, Cracker did try to employ in her comedy, like, I'm Italian, I'm from New York.
Well, I'm a New York Italian. I'm just a Italian girl from New York. But I'm an Italian girl from New York.
She even did the thing from A Star Is Born where she like traces from her forehead to her nose with her finger. I definitely, as a little monster, picked up on all those subtle little references and nods she gave to Gaga, but it just wasn't quite there for me. I feel like if you're going to do Gaga in a Snatch Game, you need to be wearing one of her super iconic looks. And when I say one of her iconic looks, I mean like, think telephone video, Alejandro, the Fame era, maybe even as Joanne. I don't know, something super recognizable. And she was kind of just like award show Gaga, which is pretty, but a very bad choice for this occasion. It just didn't really come through as funny, unfortunately, so this was a pretty obvious rot for me. As for what she did on the runway, I thought it was very cute. Her prom queen fantasy took the prom queen to that pubescent, like anxiety-ridden teen girl that was so ready for the prom to happen, but on the day of the prom, she had so much anxiety that she just got pimples all over her face and chest, and like very real teen going to the prom. Cracker always sort of takes things to a place that you don't expect it to go, and are like just a little bit funny. Maybe she could have taken it even further and done something even crazier. The actual dress itself is a hot pink fantasy, very Sweet 16, you know, what a girl in high school probably wants to wear while she's still obsessed with the colors pink and purple. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this, and I love that Cracker put her unique perspective on this look. She didn't just serve a pretty look. It's gonna be a hot for me, but definitely not my favorite of the evening. Next up is Flavor Flay. Iconic. I was literally thinking just a few months ago, why the hell hasn't anyone done Flavor Flay on Snatch Game? He is such a character. He has so many mannerisms and ways that he inflects his voice and speaks, and so many just like jokes that you can pull from. Just rich with like resources to employ into a Snatch Game. Shea effing killed it. Wow. I think I fell in love. Iconic. You literally won a Drag Race challenge without makeup on. You did that. It was hot. It was hilarious. And you probably like taught a thing or two to the super young audience of Drag Race who probably don't even know who Flavor Flay is. As for what Shea did on the runway. Wow. The children were gagging, the parents were bound, and the grandparents were chained. It was, maybe the best thing that we've seen on the All Stars 5 runway so far. I immediately got the Carrie reference, and before Shea even said it, I saw the rose petals and I was like, She mixed a Carrie reference, one of my favorite horror movies, amazing if you haven't seen the original, go watch it, with a real life experience from her losing to Sasha on her season of Drag Race. The level of iconicism that Shea has for doing this runway, it's hard to even put it into words. She literally referenced herself in a fashion moment on RuPaul's Drag Race. Let that one sink in. This look is hot, 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 flaming hot, hotter than hell, hotty, 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 hotty. Cat, get a cat, get a cat, cat, boom. Next up is India Ferrah. Who's the liarest liar of them all? Is it India or is it Alexis? As for what India did in the Snatch Game, well, hi, how are ya? I'm gonna refrain from making any comments about Jeffree Star right now because he is in hot, hot, hot water with all these recent allegations. Don't even want to go into the drama because that's not what my channel is about. All that said, India's performance as Jeffree Star did not quite capture the star power that Jeffree has. It was a major floppy, roddy. I will give India some credit. At the very end, India finally got a joke out. Finally, but it was like on her way out the door. It was like, oh no, that was the humor that you should have been giving the entire time. Oh well, missed opportunity. Moving into India's runways, I liked it a lot, but was it a prom queen look? What do you guys think? Was this a prom queen look? It didn't really give me prom. I didn't get prom fantasy from this. It was a pretty gothic, you know, lacy, dark woman type of fantasy. I love the dripping black eyeshadow and that huge dramatic smoky eye. I thought it was gorgeous, but it didn't really make me think of prom queen. There wasn't anything that like I could see a 16-year-old doing or wearing. You know what I'm saying? It just looked a little too grown up. It was like grown up Evanescence revisits her prom at the high school reunion or something. You know, it just didn't quite fit the theme. All that said, again, I think the outfit was gorgeous, cut well, the lace, beautiful, the black flowy cape, gorgeous. The look is hot, but it didn't really fit the theme. And let me check my crystal ball. Do we see lies or do we see truth? Next up is Alexis Mateo. In the Snatch game doing a, I guess, TV magician named Walter Mercado. I did not know this person, so that was like a little bit of a education moment for me. Regardless, Alexis was damn hilarious. Joke after joke after joke. And it was kind of funny because you could kind of see Alexis's face registering what was and wasn't funny. Like, I feel like she was almost surprised a couple times when she said something that went over really well with the judges. And then she leaned into it a little bit more and a little bit more. And she like figured out, oh, this is what I should be doing for Snatch Game. It was good. It was very funny. It was a unique take, very strange, bizarre, but I guess he's a very bizarre character, and Alexis Mateo is a very bizarre character. So I think the two were just a perfect pair. It was a hot performance. And back at the prom, Miss Alexis Mateo was red, 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 red all over. Red earrings, red, gorgeous, laid, sculpted, perfectly coiffed hair, red lacy gown, gloves, opulence, gorgeous, beautiful. I will say it looked a little bit too old, kind of not necessarily giving me that young high school vibe, but I still loved it. It was just so hot. Red, red, hot. The huge train of tulle behind her was just so beautiful, and you could tell that she felt beautiful. You could see it in her face and the way she moved. Gorgeous, gorgeous moment for Alexis. This is a gown, like I said, not necessarily prom, but a gown that she could have worn to a pageant and won. So before we go any further, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and to remind you, if you're not subscribed to my channel, to go ahead and tap that subscribe button and oh yeah, hit that like button while you're down there. Thanks. Now let's get back to it. And next up is Blair St. Blair St. Clair's Snatch game was a big ol' miss. I feel like Blair didn't really know how to make Ellen funny. And as Rupaul always says, how are you going to make it funny? She had the mannerisms right. Blair was like sitting with her legs like wide open on the stool as Ellen does. Kind of had some of her expressions correct, you know, was doing some of the silly things that Ellen does, like taking the selfie. It was kind of like a masterclass on just how to be Ellen. But like, I think a lot of queens get stuck in the Snatch game thinking that being or emulating the person will be enough, but it actually isn't enough. Snatch game has very little to do with whether or not you are emulating how that person actually acts in real life. It's all about if you can make RuPaul and the guest judges laugh. But we don't have to keep harping on that because that runway was her saving grace. Oh my God, that was gorgeous. Flawless. Oh my god. Last week, Blair did something on the runway that I never would have expected from her, that little wood nymph camouflage fantasy. And now she has this gender bent prom king queen fantasy. Blair said, well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of drag king and a drag queen. How about that? And girl, Miss RuPaul's up there shaking in her boots, wondering how the somebody's up there doing both. Well, girl, Miss Blair did that. It's half red tuxedo on the top with a mint green on the inside, really crazy color combination. And then the bottom part is a gorgeous red flowing gown with a big train. The makeup is avant-garde. It's got stones above the brow, below the eye. She has this short little pixie and a finger wave style that is so beautiful. Takes off that red top hat at the end of the runway and reveals a little like crown. It looks like one of the Fairly Odd Parents crowns. It's so campy and cute. Some beautiful big red earrings. Honest to God, when she walked out on the runway, I was like, who the hell is that? Did not ever in my wildest dreams think that that would have been little old Blair St. Clair. I was shook. I'm still shaking. Just makes my soul so happy and warm and hot. These are the runways that I was expecting from All Stars, like all season. It's like this was the first episode of All Stars. You know what I'm saying? Like this was the first time we got a good challenge where there was lots of comedy, and it was the first time that we got runways where there was a lot of unique perspective and fashion and greatness happening. And we got some drama, which I'll get to at the end of the video. And finally, what a great episode for Juju. Wow, that Snatch game. I would walk over to the thermostat and sensually change it. I can't do the accent, girl. That was terrible. Y'all know that's terrible. I know it's terrible, but I was dying at Juju's Eartha Kitt, who, by the way, was the voice actress that did Yzma in Emperor's New Groove. Wow, are y'all too young for that? That movie was put out a long time ago. 20 years ago? Oh God, that's scary. That is horrifying. That's horrifying. Anyways, Juju killed it. The jokes, hilarious. Stupid, but hilarious. That is how you take a character like that. You take the embodiment of even just a voice, right? And you just say the silliest of things. I'm gonna walk over to the thermostat sensually and bring it to a sensible temperature, or whatever she said there. Stupid genius. Hot, hot, hot. This was probably Juju's best moment on All Stars thus far. And when she said that thing about white noise, I was cackling, screaming. And as far as what Juju did on the runway, this is like an 80s prom fantasy that actually was age appropriate as well. Whereas like I think Alexis's and India's felt like an older woman wearing a really beautiful gown. This looks more like a young girl going to prom. It has whimsy in it because there's butterflies all across the front part of the dress. There's just like lots of tulle. Color is less serious than the other girls' color choices. It's just light and it's airy, and this is the redemption arc that butterflies have deserved on RuPaul's Drag Race for so long. Never thought I was gonna see it, but we did. And girl, we've been talking a lot about butterflies this season. It was a very, very hot runway for Juju. Now, let's get into the drama. Regardless of what happened, Shea chose to do a really, really like upstanding thing. This was a very proud moment for me as a viewer of Drag Race to see Shea rise above the drama, rise above the pettiness, because India could have been telling her the truth, but India is the only person saying this, and she's been in the bottom for 3 weeks. This is her 4th week, and like she's trying obviously not to go home. So is she just trying to save her ass, or is she telling the truth? And then if she is telling that truth, then what does that mean? I think Shea did this because there was no backup for India's claims. It was India versus Alexis. The only truly fair thing to do in this situation without picking a side was to look at the track record and base her elimination off the wins, the bottoms, and the losses. Shea did the right thing. She saved Alexis. I think Alexis has been a better competitor on the show so far. However, that said, if Shea saves somebody that's gonna stab her in the back later, woo, girl, the teeth, the drama that might come out, the blood spill, the knives in the backs, who knows? Who knows what could happen? This was the episode of All Stars Season 5 that I have been waiting for this entire season. That's fine, we got a slow start, but girl, we are speeding towards that finish line and it's getting hot, hot, hot. And of course, yes, Shea won the lip sync against Vanjie Mateo, taking home another $10,000 cash prize. This is Shea's Drag Race. We all know she's going to win at this point. What could possibly be the other outcome? Unless, of course, Alexis sends her home in the future. If she does that, she will be the most hated queen in Drag Race history. I can guarantee you that. Anyways, my hottest hot, no surprise here, is going to go to Miss Shea Coulee. And every week I also ask my loyal patrons over at patreon.com to vote for their hottest hot. This week they have chosen Jujubee. I also like to give a special shout out to the patrons subscribed at my hot tier or above. Derrick, Oscar, Vanessa, Bradley, Sean, Jenny, Rick, Maxwell, Timotheus, Drew, Curtis, Sunshine, Tom, Shannon, Dylan, and Matthew. If you would like to get in on the action and help me, Bussy Queen, create videos, you can join my Patreon for as little as $1, and the link to do so is in the description of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. Today we're reviewing episode 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 5. Today's runway theme and main challenge was Backyard Ball, where the queens had to create kooky, crazy characters and also create a couture look using materials you might find at the family barbecue. And today's video is sponsored by me, Bussy Queen. You can check out my merch store for exclusive masks, fanny packs, t-shirts, and more. Who doesn't want a little bit of Bussy on their body? And if merch isn't your thing, you can always support me on Patreon and get exclusive benefits like early access, your name and credits, personal shoutouts, and more. Now, let's get started. First up, is that salt or a little crack rocks? Cracker created this character that was so raspy it sounds like she smokes 10 packs of cigarettes a day. It was funny, it was clever. This is Cracker's strength. This is what she does. She writes comedy, she delivers jokes. She's a funny She killed the challenge, period. I know she's not everybody's fan favorite this season, but she did really, really well here and truly was one of the only ones that made me consistently laugh throughout the entire presentation of that crazy family character. And icing on the top of this family barbecue cake, woo, this look is hot. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell a shuttlecock is. I have never heard that word in my entire life. I ain't got that kind of country club types of privilege, if you know what I'm saying, but I think she looks great in a shuttlecock. I think I want one, or two, or three. The top part is this really beautiful, like kind of red vest moment with this gorgeous little ruffled collar around her neck. The hair is laid, the makeup is snatched. I love that Cracker really thinks about all the details when she does something. When she turns around, one of my favorite parts of the outfit is the bow tied on the back top part of the dress. It's well constructed, it's fashionable, it's gorgeous. I can't believe she made this. This look is bad and I'm smitten. See what I did there? Next up, Juju, she better do. This was so good. If someone was funnier than Cracker, it was Jujubee. It was a little bit heavily relying on Asian stereotypes to make her jokes. Like, I would like to have seen her maybe branch out her comedy, doing more than saying things like, my name is Ping, but everyone calls me Amber for her character, and talking about MSG so many times, because, you know, MSG is an Asian food, but it was funny. It delivered. As far as what she did on the runway, I cannot believe she made that with hot glue. They were really trying to sell us the story that she wasn't gonna be able to serve on the runway because she doesn't really know how to sew. But girl, she really did that. She basically like was the watermelon at the family barbecue. She has watermelons on one of the shoulders of her dress as a purse on the bottom part of her dress. I love the ruffles on the collar and the bottom hem of the dress. Some of the best hair on her as well, I think we've seen the entire season. That perfectly coiffed pink hair. I think she looks extra juicy and hot. And next up, little Miss Blair St. Clair. In the main challenge, she was kind of giving us that redneck mullet Indy 500 character that maybe works on some cars and smokes some meth in her free time. It was cute. Was it as well written or delivered as well as Cracker or Juju? No, it really wasn't. As for what she's doing on the runway, hit and a miss. I think it's hot from the neck up. That makeup and hair is gorgeous. I kind of disagree with the judges here. I like what she did with her hair. They were complaining that if she's gonna do the wet look, then it needs to be like wet all the way. But I think it actually strikes a good balance there. I think it looks fashionable. I think they were just like picking because, you know, she looks fabulous. I will, however, agree that the actual outfit does look a little bit hodgepodge compared to some of the other girls. I think she was going for very high fashion, but just lands it a little bit too low. This kind of looks like one of those outfits at Forever 21 that you can tell somebody in the design office was just like, plaid's popular, stripes are popular, oh, and blue's popular too. Let's just put it all together in one look and it'll sell like hotcakes. I don't really understand how the neck collar that she's wearing makes any sense. It's one of those like Victorian brooches, and the rest of the dress just doesn't have any like stylistic nod or shape to that era at all. So that was kind of a weird choice for me. And then also just the cut of it is just a little too unshapely. So the actual dress for me is going to be a rot, but I do think from the head up, she looks gorgeous. Here comes the bride. It's Shea Coulee. We had really high expectations, I think, going into this for Shea because she did, as the episode mentions, win the ball challenge in her original season. I like that she kind of brought a more of like a storytelling element into what she did. She brought a concept into it. She said, you know what? I'm gonna create a look from the materials and be a bride. And you know what? I do think it's hot. I love the little accent of yellow in the flowers that she's carrying, but maybe I would have also loved to have seen a little bit of yellow in that really gorgeous headpiece as well. And you know, I've never seen a bride with her hanging out like that, but she may start a trend with this look. The character that she created, I was a little bit bored with it. It was just very much like RuPaul's cousin from the other side of the tracks thing that we have seen several different times on Drag Race, notably Coco Montrese doing it for the roast. So it was a little bit unimaginative for me, but overall, not the worst. And finally, we get to Alexis Mateo. The character she created was RuPaul's house cleaner. What? I don't know. I think she really was trying to go for a little bit of shock value humor with that type of character, but it was confusing. Again, we see Alexa struggle a lot when she has to write jokes. And yes, she has that language barrier working against her, but we've also seen her be extremely, extremely funny. I think the problem is she's funnier when it's off the cuff and even funnier when she doesn't know that it's funny. The main gag of her character was that RuPaul owed her money because he didn't pay her when she was a house cleaner. I just was really confused. I'm like, why is the house cleaner, who looks beautiful and gorgeous, showing up to the family picnic to collect a past payment that RuPaul missed? The gown Alexis created looks like it probably took the most work out of any of the other looks on the runway, I will say. She has the entire flip cup, beer pong, and stack cup game integrated right into her outfit. The red color is gorgeous, so it's very striking to look at. She's created this like huge trumpet dress moment at the bottom with a kiddie pool. I was so gagged by that. I have to say, this is actually, I think, one of the best looks I've seen on Alexis for the entire season. Something about it just looks more fashion forward than what we typically see her fall back on. And yes, while this is pageanty, like a lot of her stuff is, it's also like creative and crafty and fun, and most importantly, funny. Revealing the kiddie pool under your dress? I don't know why the judges didn't really live for that in the way that I did. Because you know what? It's been 100 degrees around here and I would love to take a jump in Alexis's pool. I think she looks hot. So the winner this week, no surprise, is Miz Cracker. Her look, drop dead gorgeous. This is something that you could and probably will see in Vogue after this. She lip syncs against our surprise lip sync assassin Roxxxy Andrews, Miss Thick and Juicy, and she does rely on both a reveal and some personal branding using the Thick and Juicy slogan across her. Can we just say how amazing Roxxxy looks? How hot and beautiful she looks? Oh my God. And I, knew that she was elevating her makeup and look game because I do follow her on Instagram, but ooh, she looked good on that stage. It was really nice to see her back. And I was a little confused why they did the lip sync to an Ariana and not a BB song. Kind of weird. But whatever, they made their choices. The lip sync was not my favorite, but Roxxxy Andrews does win, and she reveals that the group has voted to send Alexis home. And based on this challenge alone, I think it's really difficult even for like fans to kind of decide who should have gone home here. I would love to have seen Alexis go further, but for all the cynics and conspiracy theory fans out there, you can say that she went home because the producers were done with her. They got the drama they needed out of her, and we never even resolved Lipstick Gate. I actually have a theory that that was some weird drama moment that the producers just wanted to throw into the show. Why have we not resolved it? Where are the receipts of it happening or not happening? It just seems a little bit too placed, and like everybody signed an NDA to not like talk or speak about it, besides like Alexis and India, who've been like feuding online over the whole situation. Whatever. I think Alexis's outfit was much better than Blair's, but I think Blair's character maybe was a bit funnier than Alexis's. But I'm also not mad at losing either of them at this point, because we all know that Shea is going to win, even though they're giving Miz Cracker another win, just to, even out the scoreboard or whatever. This week, my hottest hot goes to Miz Cracker. I think she definitely executed couture on the runway. I thought it was gorgeous. She looked fabulous. I also asked my loving family of patrons over on patreon.com to vote for their hottest hot, and this week they have chosen Miz Cracker. An honorable mention goes out to how fabulous BB Rexa looked. Damn, she was snatched. Love that outfit too. Can I borrow it? Anyways, I want to thank my generous patrons again for supporting me and helping me make videos. I also want to give a special shout out to all my patrons subscribed at the hot tier and above. Bradley, Curtis, Derrick, Jenny, Maxwell, Michelle, Oscar, Rick, Sean, Timotheus, Vanessa, Drew, Sunshine, Shannon, Tom, Dylan, Tina, Catherine, Midnight 19, Marty, and Matthew. If you would like to help me create videos, get your name in the credits, early access, and even personal shoutouts every single week, you can join my Patreon to do so for as little as $1, and the link to check it out is in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. it's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hat or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing the runway looks and discussing how our queens did in the challenges of episode 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 5. Today's runway theme was Freak Out. First up, Lee Bowery is quaking. The children are gagging, Juju is chained, and I am spellbound by this look. I never would have thought that Juju could have served Club Kid face kini realness like this. This is drag excellence, ladies, gentlemen, and other folks. This is so perfect. It is an immediate hot. The lime green and pink's houndstooth mixed with like the blue, white, and black checkered print all over her body in combinations and stitched together in ways that like should never ever make sense but totally do. Chef's kiss to this one. So she comes out and her face is totally covered by a mask. All we can see is her eyes and we're just like taking in the look. She removes it and I was euphoric. The glitter tears, it just like, how could you make this look better? And then like she found out how to make it better. Like an already perfect look, she further perfected. She's wearing 10 inches of heels and 10 feet of chain around her body. I loved this look. And offstage, Cracker did refer to her as vivacious, which really cracked me up. Definitely up Vivacious as Ally, you know, the spikes on the head. They were both very clearly pulling from the same reference point, but without a doubt, Juju's look is much better than the look that Vivacious had on the runway. Let's be real. So in the main challenge, it was a stand-up comedy roast. Juju had trouble getting her engine started, but once she got out the gate, we were purring and everything was just fine. I gasped when she made the joke about Michelle's titties. I was like, oof. Like she just got those removed because she was having a medical condition and then you just made fun of her for getting them removed? Or maybe she was trying to make a big boob joke and didn't realize that Michelle has had them removed. I was just like, yikes. Yikesy. That aside, she was able to make people laugh. And you know, I think Juju is funniest when I think she's not trying to be. However, naturally funny people like that can own that skill and turn into really good stand-up comedians. Her stand-up was hot. And next up is Blair St. Clair giving us Cheshire Cat mixed with 101 Dalmatians, mixed with Club Raver? There's a lot going on here. The runway theme is Freak Out, so I'm not totally mad about all the disparate references. Do they all make sense together? I think that remains to be determined. I don't think this is a bad look. It's not my favorite, but again, not a rot. Part of it is that her little body is just so cute and amazing that she could probably wear just about anything and look great in it. My favorite part about it are the furry panties and Cheshire cat tail. The patterns, the colors are all very fun, and everything does, you know, really go together. It's going to be like a mild hot for me. I did like the Cheshire cat mask reveal to the cat makeup, but then I also was just kind of like, why were you wearing the Cheshire cat mask when you could have just painted like the Cheshire cat smile on your face in the first place? Maybe she didn't have enough time to do that and that was just a backup. I know that would have been really challenging to get those teeth on that face painted like that. However, that really actually would have brought the look to like an even higher level. That said, the crazy makeup she was able to achieve does look really good. Her eyes look so gorgeous. There's some really interesting animalistic shapes shaping out that brow. In the main challenge, we had the classic drag race thing happen where they basically told us that somebody was going to be amazing and then they flopped like a fish. And from a storyline perspective, I think that was good writing on the producer's part to kind of set that up and then let her fall. However, it was really heartbreaking to see her like just totally derail trying to tell jokes on the stage. That thing about Juju calling her page turner, that was some shady editing. They could have cut that out for the TV show, but of course they wanted to make it clear to us that she did the worst. So of course they included all those awkward pauses where she's like struggling to turn the pages in her notebook where the jokes are written. She should have just memorized the jokes in the first place, but I don't know why she didn't. We all know her stand-up was a rat. Next up, somebody call a doctor. I've got the plague. Miz Cracker's reveal look is a plague doctor mask with a really interesting take on the rest of the outfit. It's like this white and black. It almost looks like a zebra stripe pattern. Interesting, very freaky. It's not like a typical sort of plague doctor color. I think they just kind of did like black or beige capes. I love that the mask is oversized. She kind of took it to like a cartoony place rather than doing a more literal interpretation of the plague doctor masks, which were actually quite creepy. And by the way, I did the Googling for you. Plague doctors wore those masks with the crazy crow beaks to apparently keep smells out from people that had the plague. But this was before like germ theory and everything, and they thought that the smells carried the sickness. And because they were covered in such oversized and protective clothing, they often were protected from some of the germs that they encountered. The reveal on this look is sickening. Literally, death becomes her. Cracker looks so good. The hair on this reveal is actually making me think of her season 10 look when they had to do like the good and bad versions of themselves. It's that flatness middle part with that super long length. On this look, it's very grudgy. Not my favorite thing about the look, but I think it gets the effect that she was trying to give across. The bodysuit is patterned and rhinestoned in a beautifully ugly way. It kind of looks fleshy, but like dead fleshy, but make it glamorous. I like that she was able to really do a lot with something so simple. This look for me is a hot, even though I want to say it's a rot because it's the plague. So I'm gonna say rat, just because I want to say it and see the effect with this look, but it is a hot. As far as her stand-up, well, she left me dead. No surprise, again, Cracker's funny. We know she's funny. She does stand up in her like regular drag performances. This is part of her gig. She, I will say, was the most nervous I have ever seen her on Drag Race. I mean, put yourself in her shoes. You're in the top 4, you want to win so badly, and you're being told to do the thing that you are supposedly best at. When that kind of pressure is on your shoulders, it takes a strong person to not fully crack. Thank God she was funny. It was great and it was hot. Next up is Shea Coulee. This is kind of giving me some like David Bowie, but if he were like raving in the 90s realness, in the sense that it is counterculture, it is freaky. However, it is not freaky in the way that a lot of the other girls tonight interpreted the runway. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but as Michelle said, could she have done something even freakier? Like, let's think back to her moth look on the runway. Oh my God, that was freaky. She should have done something like that. She really could have taken this runway so many different ways, and let's just be happy and feel blessed that we have Shea on our TV screens. It's like a shiny pink cat suit with a rainbow furry coat over it and a really crazy kind of like messed up mullet for hair. She's got on those huge platform boots. There's straps across her body. This is sort of like the more wearable version of what Blair was serving on the runway. While this look didn't really get me high, I think it still is a hot. However, that look that she was wearing when she was telling jokes, girl, that was no joke. That truly was gorgeous, and that look was hot. I don't know why she chose to wear that outfit when telling jokes. Usually you wear something very understated so as not to distract from what you're saying when you're doing stand-up, or you wear something ugly. You do like a sight gag. But she chose to go totally other direction. She said, I'm gonna be a beautiful woman and I'm gonna tell some jokes and I'm gonna own my story about Sasha. Her stand-up for me was hot. The winner of tonight's challenge was Miz Cracker, and she ended up lip syncing against Kennedy Davenport, and I was so excited when I saw her behind that little curtain. But what was that song? The Reba McEntire song? Why did they choose that? Kennedy has given us some of the best lip syncs in Drag Race history, okay? The one that I'm thinking of right now was that like Hello Kitty one with Katya back in season 7. That one changed my life. This type of song though, like, I don't think really gives you a good opportunity to do the type of crazy things that we want to see from lip syncs on Drag Race. Whatever. Anyways, Cracker does pull out a win. She wins the 10,000 from last week and this week, and she reveals that her lipstick says Blair. I think this was kind of an obvious setup here, giving kind of a bad song to somebody like Kennedy versus Cracker, because I think the producers wanted to have the chance for Cracker to play the game of Drag Race All-Stars and send Shea home, because that obviously would have been like the most competitive thing to do, and I can totally see somebody like Cracker doing that. However, she knows that the cost of sending someone like Shea home, everyone would have hated her guts. She would have been the most hated queen in Drag Race history. I just honestly don't even think it's worth it for these all-star girls to play the game like that for a, you know, measly $100,000. And look, I know that's a lot of money. I would love to have $100,000, but the point of what I'm saying is these girls, the all-stars girls, I don't know. I mean, they're probably pulling in mid 6-figure income. The most successful ones, definitely. Queens like Cracker, possibly. So I just don't really see somebody with like a strong income risking risking being hated by everyone just for a chance at $100,000? Plus, it's gonna feel so much better for Cracker if she ends up winning against Shea in a fair competition. So I think she made the right choice by sending Blair home. She was the only one that didn't have any wins. And wow, what a great top three. What an excellent, excellent top three. Juju, Cracker, and Shea. I am so proud to see it. We did it, ladies. Really, I'm so proud to see it. This is, I think, the best top three that could have come out of All Stars. Has this season been a little bit lackluster, lacking some excitement? Yeah, it has. Has it turned out kind of exactly like everybody thought it has? Yeah, it has. But guess what? Everybody freaks out and screams and complains when things go wrong and crazy. So they had a very normal season where things just happened as they should. This week, my hottest hot is going to go to Jujubee. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hot every single week over on patreon.com. This week they voted for Jujubee. If you would like to help me make videos, get early access, your name and credits, and personal shoutouts in every single video, check out my Patreon. The link to join is in the description of this video. I want to say thank you to all of my patrons and give a special shout out to those of you subscribed at the hot tier and above. Dylan, Matthew, Shannon, Sunshine, Tom, Bradley, Curtis, Derrick, Jenny, Marty, Maxwell, Michelle, Oscar, Rick, Sean, Tina, Timotheus, Vanessa, Veronica, Drew, and Catherine, Ed, and Oscar V. And don't forget that hitting that like button, leaving a comment, and pressing subscribe really helps up with the algorithm and helps my video get seen by more people. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Bye. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we are reviewing the finale of All Stars 5. Congratulations, Shea Coulee, and may her reign be bountiful with treasure. As far as what happened in the episode, well, Ru brought all the girls back. Runway category was All Stars Eleganza, and each of the three had 3 looks. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, oops, she did it again. It's Derrick Barry. Wow. And she really, truly, honest to God, looks so gorgeous. This is kind of actually making me think of her like there's a him everywhere look back from her original season, except it's like the ultra glamazon version of it. It's also, I guess, like an ode to Elsa, and we will see more of this repeated, but I can't help but notice that so many of the girls wore this very like icy eleganza look on the runway. More often than not, we do see her falling back to that, you know, kind of same old Britney habit, but this is just totally breaking the ice from what she usually does and giving us something new, fresh, and elegant. This look is hot. And you know, seeing Derrick Barry come in the beginning of the season, I was like, okay, I wanted this from her so bad, but she just didn't bring it in that first episode, and unfortunately she went home and then didn't even get to showcase maybe the growth and change that she has been able to put under her belt over the years. But thankfully she had this moment to show it off. Next up, read all about it. It's Ongina. Bald truly is beautiful with Ongina tonight. Good lord. This is reminding me a little bit of Yvie Winter's newspaper dress that she did in her season. Cinching the gown is this huge giant black latex bow matching the elbow length gloves that she has on. And you know, it is not breaking news that Ongina looks hot. Going back to her original season, I mean, it's been 10 years. This is the level of elegance that I would expect to see somebody grow into 10 years later. It makes me really proud to see Ongina on the runway like this. And also owning her star power, something she really struggled to do in the beginning of the competition, which ultimately sent her home. She just couldn't get past that performance anxiety. But tonight, she absolutely won the race. Next up, this look really leaps her other looks in the dirt. Mariah, oh my God, she looks gorgeous. This really beautiful asymmetrical, like icy blue updo that she's wearing with that dark root. Perfection, and it matches her eye makeup in the like color ombre as well. And speaking of her makeup, I think this is the most beautiful it has been across all the times that we have seen Mariah this season. I think she looks absolutely hot. And looking back at Mariah from her original season, she really used to give more of this kind of natural glam beauty. Her start on this season was a little bit, I think, questionable. She had a strange entrance look and then also had some other questionable moments on the runway. But this tonight totally blows away any doubts that I may have had about her taste and makeup skills, and just proud to see it. Next up, I Dream of Mayhem. She is giving us this kind of like 60s mixed with maybe like some Bollywood influence, and then also a little bit of Middle Eastern influence, I think, with that gold jewelry that she has around her neck and in her hair. This orange satin fabric is absolutely beautiful. I thought it was really brave of her to do pants for her All Stars eleganza look, but she did pants so damn well. Pants have never looked so good. It tells that story on the runway, something she just couldn't seem to do, but now finally is showing us that she has done. This look is totally, totally hot. Comparing this look to what Mayhem brought in, let's say, on day one, she famously, of course, kind of got called out a little bit for basically wearing an Amazon corset with rhinestones on it. That talent show was a really rough start, and then her other performances just didn't quite measure up to the rest of the girls. Next up, a glacier I really would not mind being shipwrecked on. And earlier in the season, India did do a slicked back kind of hair look. It didn't really work for me then, but this absolutely does work for me. And I think maybe it is just the extra volume in the hair, like I said, that first slick back look needed. This is giving me like J-Lo meets Christina Aguilera meets Britney Spears meets Lady Gaga. It's just making me think of every like nude illusion crystallized look that I have ever seen my favorite pop stars in, done in a way that is also unique to India. It looks like maybe she just like stayed in the freezer just a little bit too long, and she got all those little ice crusties all over her body, and that's all she decided to wear today. And she served it so well. It's so freezing hot. And I love that India truly got to showcase that her drag had evolved so much from where it was originally on season 3. This is a completely different person with a level of talent that is untouchable now. So before we go any further, I do want to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, me. If you aren't already aware, my work is supported by my loving family of patrons over on patreon.com/BussyQueen. Patrons get exclusive benefits like early access to my videos, their name and credits, personal shoutouts, and they get to vote every week for their hottest hot. Patreon is a little bit like a monthly tip bucket that you can contribute to not only get those exclusive benefits I mentioned, but help support me as an artist and help me make videos. And if you would like to consider supporting me, please click the link to my Patreon in the description of this video. That's patreon.com/BussyQueen. Now, let's get back to it. Next up, is this look an optical illusion, or am I just seeing things because I'm missing an eye tonight? Alexis Mateo. Wow, wow, wow. You know, a lot of people really wanted to see her in the top 4. I think she absolutely did deserve it because she is another contestant that has elevated her drag so much over the years. I think that she not only did that, but was able to bring more relatability to this season and also own her like comedy skills a bit more than she has been able to in the past. Like, let's think back to that amazing Snatch game that she gave us as Walter Mercado. This look is kind of giving me like hotel bedspread, but make it ultra glamorous. And I'm not trying to be shady. I do think she looks absolutely beautiful. The crystals, the rhinestones, the jewels, the asymmetrical hair matching the asymmetricality of the dress, and those huge giant ruffles going down the side. Girl, she did that. She really did that. Next up, shiver me timbers. It's Blair St. Clair. I don't know why there are so many like powder blue and icy inspired looks tonight. This is like the 4th one so far, but you know what? She looks gorgeous in it. Maybe this was kind of an ode to her little like, you know, shiver thing that she was doing on the runway that Rupaul loved so much. I don't know, but she looks great. Her shoes and bottom part of the outfit are giving me a little bit of like Alexander McQueen and Lady Gaga back from like 2010. The hair that she has on, are you joking? The level of detail in that with those little O-rings at the top, the crystals in the back, she looks gorgeous. She looks untouchable. Hook, line, and sinker. This is just drag on steroids, and it's so hot. You know, back in her original season, she was just like this shy little queen, I think, who had trouble expressing herself and finding her identity. And now on All Stars 5, she is this professional woman who knows exactly who she is, giving us avant-garde, high fashion, beautiful makeup, perfected looks, amazing hair. She had an excellent run on All Stars. Now, let's get into the final 3. First up is Jujubee. The costume she's wearing is this green, sparkly bodysuit with some thigh highs. I don't think anything too crazy or notable. I think she does look hot though. Hair and makeup, totally snatched. good God. And that's something I think I was a little bit scared of. When we first saw Jujubee enter the workroom, I was like, oh no, she's gonna be giving us pedestrian looks. She's gonna be like not really serving it on the runway. But every single week, she turned up the heat and got hotter and hotter. As far as what Jujubee did on the runway, I just had to take a minute because it was that damn good. Who looks this good? Who has the right? You know what? Jujubee does have the right. She has earned the right to look this good. I am changing religions. My religion is now Jujubee looking like this. Opulent, elegant, beautiful, and it's golden, and that orange sash across her body, which becomes a train. The little like golden fingertips that she has on. I cannot even begin to accept that this person looks this beautiful and hot. X marks the spot. This is where it is at. Finally, we get to her lip sync for the crown look. Again, another flawlessly beautiful look from Jujubee. This is so hot. Her makeup and hair game here is just absolutely flawless for the finale. Good God. This outfit that she's wearing, I think, acknowledges her runway look and then also makes it a dance costume. I think it was a really great touch to have both of those two things being so similar, but also so different. Even though she didn't win All Stars 5, I think she finally won the hearts of America. It's insane to me that she has been able to grow to this level of excellence. And next up, Miz Cracker. So Miz Cracker came into this season, I think, as many people's picks for the win. I think a lot of people immediately when they saw the contestants were like, oh, this is a setup for either Cracker or Shea to win. And yeah, they were right. It was. And as we sort of saw things shake out across the season, we did see Cracker kind of get that villain edit from the producers, which I think was sort of an intentional storyline setup to put right next to Shea's Sasha redemption arc, but we will get to that in just a second. I think Cracker did Cracker very well in All Stars 5. I don't really think that there was enough time between season 10 and this All Star season for her to vastly change and upgrade who she was. I think part of that was because she had so much star power already in season 10 when she was there. And it didn't help really that she left season 10 as a fan favorite and then got this really, really bad edit this season. For the performance, she is classic Cracker. She's doing her, you know, 60s diner thing with the bows and big accessories, the really big hair. This is Cracker, and I think it looks hot. As far as what she did on the runway, this like pearlescent Fabergé egg, Russian doll princess, Star Wars Princess Leia look is insane. It's gorgeous. She looks like a doily but made of pearls or something. I don't know what oyster she crawled out of, but she looks hot. The headpiece is so glamorous. I love the hair. And I thought it was a really cool storyline for her to bring in, you know, her sort of Russian heritage into not only this runway, but the rest of the competition as well. We got to learn a little bit more about Cracker, even though I think she could have used a little bit more time in the oven. And finally, we get into Cracker's lip sync for the crown look. Oh girl, it's a rot. It's a rot. It's the only rot that I'm going to give this whole episode. Cracker. Why? Why would you choose that look to lip sync in for the crown? You don't give a crown and scepter to somebody in a basic green Madonna Baracone bodysuit. You just don't. You cannot. You can't do it. Not to mention that, you know, her little glitter reveal out of the Baracones was kind of a flop. It needed the glitter explosion to happen, and instead the glitter just kind of like sadly fell out at a very slow pace. And finally, we get to our winner, our new reigning queen of the Drag Race Queendom, Shea Coulee. This season was literally meant for Shea. So you know how I was talking about like Cracker being sort of set up to be the villain of the season? She really was the foil to Shea's story arc across the entire narrative. Like, let's just think back to like day one. Shea comes in and she's bringing up, you know, I'm here to reclaim what happened in season 9 with Sasha. As we move through the season, we see her bring that up again and again, and then we see her overcome what happened with Sasha. We saw the setup in the beginning, and and then we see them knock that card house down in the comedy challenge when she is able to make jokes about Sasha beating her. And let's also not forget the runway where she was also owning that moment, which of course was the homage to Carrie, the horror movie, mixed with her real life experience with Sasha. Let's get into her looks. In her performance look, she is giving us this like black and white checkered rhinestoned catsuit with some cutouts at the waist. I think it's really hot. I don't think it really says too much about Shea in the way, for example, the Cracker's look did, but I do think she looks great. Moving into Shea's runway, just simple, elegant beauty. Is this look as flashy or as rhinestoned and sparkly as like every single other look on the runway? No, but that's what makes it stand out. She says that it was inspired by her mom's prom dress, which I think is beautiful to give an homage to your mother on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race. So classy. The hair, the bow in the hair, the fabric that was used, the color, just absolutely effortlessly beautiful. We got to see Shea, I think, evolve into a much more mature person than who she was in her original season. This is a fully grown woman now, and she looks so hot. Finally, getting into Shea's lip sync for the crown look. This look really put the wind in my sails. Across the three, you cannot give Cracker the crown in an outfit like that, so it's gonna go to Shea or either Juju. That beautiful hair, that beautiful gown. I like that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna lip sync for the crown in a full length gown and look damn gorgeous and beautiful and stunning doing it. Although maybe difficult to lip sync in, she sells us this kind of like robot fantasy to this song, which is able to give us comedy and glamour at the same time. I mean, Shea literally just like stands in the middle of the stage looking gorgeous and then wins the crown while Cracker and Jujubee are like flailing around trying to actually lip sync and do some silly things. Shea is just up there just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win. What of it? I don't even have to move that much because I'm that beautiful. Wow. What an excellent episode for drag, for fashion, for glamour, beauty. Really just showcased the finer points of drag in a way that we have never seen on Drag Race. My hottest hot on the runway is going to go to Jujubee. I don't think anybody even holds a match to that. I also asked my patrons over on patreon.com/BussyQueen to vote for their hottest hot. And this week they've chosen Jujubee. So I also want to say thank you so much to my patrons for helping me make videos, and give a special shout out to everyone subscribed at the hot tier and above. Midnight 19, Catherine, Drew, Veronica, Vanessa, Timotheus, Tina, Sean, Rick, Oscar Dickerson, Oscar Villacorta, Michelle, Maxwell, Marty, Kevin, Jenny, Ed, Derrick, Curtis, Bradley, Tom, Sunshine, Shannon, Matthew, Crystal, Kiki and John, Caroline, and Dylan. And please don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give that like button a tap and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Oh, and don't forget to go follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to hit 10,000 followers, and I know you really wouldn't mind and would probably enjoy having my beautiful face on your feed. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you.